Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. First time in, I guess, over a year we've streamed this. Had some fun with it last time. And I figured it would be fun to try and do only trains. Nothing but trains. I don't know how far we're going to be able to get with that. But I thought it would be a fun challenge. Hopefully everybody's having a good Thursday evening. Or, I guess, Friday morning for some of you. So, I'm kind of tempted to just go for regular large, kind of standard settings here. I do want to kind of reconfigure this map slightly, so I'm going to reload this a little bit. Is it really not going to change it for me? Come on. That's probably fine. Hey, Mike. Hey, Devilish. You need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is 1440, which is not supported for this configuration. Okay, open your own widget, you ding-dong. Alright, okay. What is it angry about now? Oh, YouTube. Never change. Is it mad because I have the, oh, the latency might be set wrong for this. Let's try. No? I can't change it? Okay. Why are you the way that you are? I cannot. Are you going to make me really stop the stream and start it again to change the latency? Come on. Okay, this is how YouTube actually makes me mad. Come on. You can see stuff though, right? Why is every stream I start with this? Come on. It's yelling at me. It says I can't do ultra low latency, yet that's what it's set to and it's working. But it says I can't change it because it's wrong. Great job, YouTube. Okay. Well, if it works, and it doesn't look like absolute garbage, then we're just going to roll with it. And I'm going to hope that... I'm checking my preview thing. It looks like it's fine. I'm so sorry, VOD watchers. Up, up, down, down. Yeah, there you go. Left, right, BA, select, start. Well, if Konami makes this game, then I'm sure that would do something. Turning it off and back on, well, then I have to, you know, redo everything. I'm not doing that. Let's just roll with this. 1900 start, so we don't have to deal with this super ancient stuff. If it looks unacceptably terrible or there's stuttering or whatever, please do let me know, and then I will have to end it and restart. But we've already got people in here, and we got stuff to do. Now, I did try downloading some mods to get some more variety for the locomotives and stuff, but nothing would download, which is fantastic stuff, but I digress. Let's see what we got. Got, I think, what, 12 cities? Looks fine in my preview, looks fine in that preview. Frame rate look okay for everybody? Alright, we got... pretty widely spread stuff. Text on screen's fine to read. Okay. Good to go. I see the Gary emotes. Hello. Yes, tips. Click and hold the right mouse button to move the mouse to move the camera. Yes. I am aware how this game works. So, train-only mode is gonna, you know, live or die by the economics of the beginning industries here. So we need to find a town that has a really simple need to fill that won't require a whole lot of moving stuff around. Because remember, I'm only building trains until it doesn't work, and then I guess I lose. But, see, Berkeley wants bricks, and then we've got the construction materials plant, and we have a couple of quarries. So I think this might be our best shot so far. I'm going to check out a couple other things, but this would be a very simple one for us to just do with a loop going here to here to here to here, and then so on and so forth until it, you know, make some money. Let's see. Anybody else that would be slightly easier? I don't think so. See, the really complicated stuff is going to be annoying because when you get to mid-late game and everybody wants all these other things and they're not going to be able to get them without some sort of nonsense, then you know that's going to turn into an absolute disaster. But I don't think we're going to find anything easier than that to start out with. And the reason I say that is, you know, not because I want this to just be a walk in the park. It's because it's going to be literally impossible. Because you start with 10 million bucks, And assembling one train is going to cost more than half of that. More or less. The mountain looks like a bird. Which one? Oh yeah, it kind of does. Assuming you're talking about this, we got wings here, tail feathers, etc. Yeah, definitely not the rest of these. Okay, so in Berkeley we shall start. There are no tracks because it assumes you're going to start with trucks and all that nonsense. So we will need to have stations that will be connected here. I do know from previously playing the game that this will need more than one of these quarries to actually be able to maximize everything here. But things can be optimized at a later point in time. We just need to get something going here. So we have cargo stations, and then this will need a cargo station. Since we're only using trains, there's no distribution in town, so we're going to have to, you know, do a little bit of eminent domain and destroy a bunch of stuff so we can actually have a station in town. But if I position this correctly, I might be able to save most of the industry that is currently, you know, demanding this stuff. Kind of complicated here, because we do have all of this stuff. I guess it might not make sense right now, but probably the easiest, most effective way to do this is going to be to just demolish all of these by building a station, because then it will build around it to replace everything that we've destroyed. So you pop that in there. Before things get too crazy, we do need to configure the station and put in at least one more track, and then more platforms. We're going to want to have space for passengers as well. So we have a cargo platform here. We have another cargo platform probably, but for right now I'm just going to put in passenger stuff just so we have it. We won't need to have passengers going to any of the rest of this, but other cities are going to want to have that. This is also going to kind of limit us on train length, but I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. We'll see what happens. But we need to have more cargo stations for all of these other things here. And I think easiest thing is going to be here and here. And since we're not using roads, we don't have to actually build anything on the roads. It just needs to be connected to one of these things here, which may or may not be easy. Okay, well that's going to work there. That's fine. And these people are still going to be driving their cars on the roads. We're just not going to be part of that. So that there will be fine. We'll just go in like this, and then up here, rotate. Just get this to mesh nicely right there. And then we have to connect with tracks. Now, 1900, there's no quick trains. They're all super slow. But as we get further along and we want to do passenger between cities, we're going to want to make sure we plan for that with the wider sweeping curves. Fortunately, that was not correct. Fortunately, this is a very, very easy thing to do starting out. And it looks like that is going to be just fine. None of these trains are going to go 60 miles an hour anyway. And we can adjust that at such a time as that. But that's $500,000 just to build that, because we have to tunnel. This is why you have to start with an easy thing. But this is going to go through here and then around to this. If we just build it like this, that's actually more or less perfect, but it is going to remove some of these things. I guess we can just leave that. That's fine. But that is $1.1 million just for that. So now we just have that go up here. If we just let it be like this, again, perfectly fine, pretty cheap. Don't think we need to worry about too much else. Is it the most beautiful thing in the world? No. Kind of looks like a, you know, an 8-year-old's train set, but that is the way it goes. Now we need a train depot. Easiest thing to do is just to pop in, ideally before the first ingredient loop. So I will just go right here. Get that connected here. And Bob's your uncle. Now, we have to build a line. New line. We will start here. We will go here. And then we will go here. And that is that. We will call this... Oh, I always spell Berkeley wrong. Berkeley Bricks. There you go. And we have to set our loading and unloading. So at Berkeley South, this is where we load everything, unload nothing. Just load this to 100%. Berkeley West is what's up here. That's our bricks, so just untick that. Unload 100% of that. Load 100% of the bricks. I don't know if it's going to do that first or not. It might be a little weird at first, but that is going to be fine. There's nothing to load in Berkeley. We'll just set this to unload everything because, well, I don't want to have to redo this later if we put something else in. All right, so the route has been defined. Now we need to build a train. Okay, fast train called a rocket. The only rocket in this game is like the first steam locomotive, and it was not quick. But I digress. Cheapest train, we only have a little less than $6 million bucks. Cheapest train is going to be start with the 440 Classic. But if we wanted to spend big bucks, we could get one of these guys that goes considerably faster. We just need to get this thing going first. So, there you go. And then we take a look at our freight cars, see what can actually get held in here. And I'm thinking it's going to be probably, yeah, gondola to take care of the stone. And then the bricks are going to have to go on flat car. Can they go in anything else? Then go in the flat car with the side stakes. All right, so that actually, I guess that's fine, because that means we can carry a lot more. But let's see, 31 miles an hour. How much more expensive is this one? Whoa, okay, yeah, no, we're using the cheap stuff. So that can carry 7. If we start with 3, because eventually this locomotive is not going to be able to, you know, actually carry all this stuff. Can I do... Okay, it says mediocre. I guess that's probably going to be fine. But this is 1.7 mil. Let's buy it, and let's send it on the Berkeley Bricks line. And now we can follow our train. Eventually. If it decides to actually... Oh, I have to unpause. Can I get an explanation of what this game is? It's called Transport Fever 2. You build logistics to connect industries to cities. That's about the long and short of it. And we can, you know, play with trains. Just wanted to stop by and say hello. Good to see you, as always. So we got our dude here driving the train. About to pick up a whole mess worth of stuff here. If he decides to stop, I guess he goes all the way to the end. Return to your hibernation. Well, good luck with your hibernation. There we go. Pulling in. It can load up to 14, because I guess it wants to allocate one of those gondolas to hold coal for some reason, but we're not picking that up. Whatever. It's fine. I can't get this to go any faster in this mode, so I'm going to have to come out of here. And we will get this on turbo speed. I am going to slow down the date speed, though, because we don't need to be in a rush. Alright, let's just follow this. This is going to be pretty slow early game, so just warning you now. No, I do think we're going to be in good shape. Hopefully sooner rather than later. The profit loss chart is going to be absolutely abominable for this for a very long time, because there's a lot of maintenance. But once it starts making some decent money, we'll be home free. But it's going to take a while. That's why I'm being a little conservative here with how we build stuff. All right, so this is going to drop off. It's not going to have anything ready for us to go, so this is going to be a waste of a lap, unfortunately. But there's not really much of anything else we can do about that. Got a Labrador puppy in February. Oh, nice. Yeah, we last streamed in April, I think. You might have been around for that. Unfortunately, there's no... I already forgot what it's called. Bingo card. There's no bingo card information for TF2 yet, but if you come up with something, feel free to make one of those. That's always fun. Alright. By the time we get back over here, we're going to have a lot of stone to take over. Probably should have put more cars on the train, knowing this now, but it's fine. Cat's birthday's tomorrow. Happy early birthday to your cat. Post a pic in the pets channel. right, see, now it's fully loaded, this thing. And when we get over here, we should have... we got a whole 8 bricks. Very good. Like I said, it's gonna be really slow. But we are... It says tickets, that's just the revenue, because it calls it tickets for railroad. That's going to include cargo as well. We are making some kind of money. Probably going to want to start repaying loans as soon as we can, but I do want to keep some cash on hand here. Good evening, have a great stream, need to go to bed, and we'll watch tomorrow. Well, glad you stopped by to say hi. VOD, as always, will be available. It's going to be pretty slow, though, so you're probably going to want to watch in 2x speed when you go back, but thanks for popping in. All right, now I got 9 bricks. How many are on here? 10 bricks. Cool. Yeah, so once we actually complete a loop, then we'll go and do something else, but I do want to watch this very first one and see if there's anything else we can get ourselves into. Yeah, the real killer here is going to be building the infrastructure, because track gets expensive really quick if you're not careful with how you build. It's been a long time since I've seen your stream. It's been a long time since I've streamed, period. Well, this game, like a year and a half or something. But so we got our bricks going. That's fine. Let's see if there's anything else quickly that we can set up, or if there's 2 cities kind of close to each other that would benefit from passenger service. Because a simple point-to-point, not even a loop, passenger service would probably do pretty well and be pretty cheap. We just need to find something. We got Albuquerque and we got Charleston here. Take a look at the car trips. They got 146 people taking cars, and the destination is nowhere. They're driving around themselves. Somebody's going... That's not how Albuquerque is spelled. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it is, and I'm just dumb. The Earth has layers. It does, like an onion. But somebody is going by car to Albuquerque to shop. Which means there is demand for a train. And the thing with passenger stations is they need to be where the homes are. They need to be accessible. But remember, we're only building trains. And I previously thought that the trams in this game were part of the train thing, but no, they're part of the road thing. So, depending on how you choose to define that, we may or may not end up building those ever. But we do need to have a passenger station somewhere. And these... Oh, this is actually... that's actually pretty good there. We just build a passenger station. We're going to want to have probably some sort of provision for cargo, but for right now, this will be fine. Let's demolish that. Build ourselves a passenger terminus station. Hopefully, I can... There we go, 287,000. That's going to be good enough. That'll go there, and then we'll just have this be nice and simple going into Albuquerque. That can reach just about anybody right here without disrupting anything else. And I think the track is not going to be too expensive either. So, let's take a look here. Pop this in here. A cool $2.3 million to build this. Is there going to be any way to make this cheaper? I think the tunnel is probably cheaper than cutting. Oh, yes. It super is. But I know we can borrow more money. And if we start making actual profit with this, then that is going to be worth having done. Oh, this whole thing's a tunnel? Yikes. Well, if we don't build all in one go, we can have a slightly slower track that kind of winds around this and is going to be cheaper. I think. Turn this back to single time speed. Let's see if we can do it cheaper than 2.3 mil. So we know we have to go that way, and this is very, very steep. I'm trying to avoid... Let's see, it's already almost $1 million to go that way. Maybe it is just the cheapest, best way to do this. Because, you know, this is all above ground here, and then it goes through... You know what? I guess this is fine. It is a pretty cool tunnel. Okay. Sign the check. Of course, because this is super far away, it's going to have a train depot of its own, which probably should go in the cheapest place to build. Maybe right about here. Let's rotate this just a touch. That was the wrong button to push. There we go. Okay. Get this connected up here. Now, we're not going to have enough money to actually buy a train, so we're going to have to borrow. I'm going to go ahead and borrow another 3 mil, 2 mil, whatever. Let's build. I guess it doesn't matter. It's going to have to be the cheapest one anyway. That's only 28 miles per hour. If we can go twice as fast, that's twice as much money we can make in the same amount of time. But this is 3 times the cost. However, tractive effort of almost 18,000 pounds versus 9 means it can carry twice as much and go twice as fast at 3 times the cost. If I can make this work with some passenger wagons, you see this 6-axle car can go almost 70 miles an hour. How fast is this one? Oh, it's only, okay, 47 miles an hour. That's fine. We can go for the cheapo car. That can carry 16. We can start with 16 passengers. That's fine. So we'll just go ahead and get that, and we're going to have this go from, not this one, new line, Charleston to Albuquerque. So we'll just have that. I'm not spelling Albuquerque out. There we go. So now let's come in here and grab our train, set it on that route, and away we go, just as soon as this decides it wants to do its thing. Haven't watched any Water Beaver since episode 8. Yeah, there's a whole lot that happened in that one. Alright, let's just follow this guy around, put this on triple speed. See if we can be profitable at all. I actually don't know if there's a tremendous amount of demand at this exact moment for this route, but there will be eventually. It's very weird that YouTube is still complaining about my video resolution being too high, but I guess it's fine. Yes, this Water Beavers playthrough that we're doing right now is so much faster. Hey, somebody's already on the train. Cool. It helps that at this point I've done 2 complete playthroughs. It also helps that Update 6 Water Beavers is a lot easier in terms of where you're allowed to place buildings. Some of the restrictions have been loosened. And this map that I chose is really, really hard. I probably should not have chosen it for this, but I'm having a really good time with it. The next one will be on a very easy map. Do not worry. I don't know when the Update 7 Water Beavers is going to happen, though. It's probably going to be a while. Isn't easier, it's less painful. Okay, that's a fair way to word it. Question for chat. What's your favorite flavor of Powerade or Gatorade? So right now I've got an orange one. It's just appropriately called orange. Water Beavers on Diorama is for masochists. I will not be doing that. I think... Oh, I don't think Redneck's in chat. I think Redneck's done it. I could be wrong. Posted cat pics, by the way. Alright, I will take a look. Not on stream. Let's see. Majestic. Love myself a good tuxedo cat. Lemon cucumber. See, I haven't really been a big fan of that one. What's the name of the map in Water Beavers? Something aquifer, maybe? No, that was the other stream that broke because the maps changed. I don't know. I think it's in the description of the videos. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find out. Give me a moment here. Something aqueducts. Okay. Let's see. YouTube Studio app is kind of bad. There it is. Posted episode 31. Why can't I just look at my description of my own video? Okay. Ancient Waterways is the name of the map. Or at least that's what I put in the video description. It might actually be Ancient Aqueducts. Don't know. Now we have 6 people on the train. Very good. Got a billion notifications from eBay. Bet you can't guess what I bought on there. Let's see. I'm very interested to see if this starts turning a profit at some point before I have to expand stuff, because very expensive vehicle maintenance, track maintenance, and all that. But if I'm not constantly buying new stuff, it should eventually stop being in the red. Do you think the beavers are actually really big, or the aqueducts are really small? Well, I want to say like 1 square in game has more or less been confirmed to be a meter or 2 meters, which would place beavers, depending on which one of those you choose to ascribe to, somewhere around, well, a meter in height, more or less, which is terrifyingly large for beavers, at least as we know them now. But I think there were some ancient beavers previously in human history that would have been considerably larger than the ones we have now. We have more pet pics. Oh, that's a good doggo right there. Okay, so it's improving. It's just really slow. Really slow. But we're not really going to know until this starts to get more and more full. Okay, let's come off of this. Let's check and see what Albuquerque's doing. So they are taking the train. We do have 9 people waiting. The train capacity is 16 presently. Devilish, thanks for the 2. Appreciate you. I love that dog sticker. They got some fun stuff on there. My impression is that most of the sizing of objects like trees and crops and whatnot are abstractions. Meanwhile, beavers are about human-sized. I could buy that. Alright, so... okay, looking good there. Let's go back over here to Berkeley and see what the bricks are up to. So we're actually fulfilling about 2/3 of the demand for the bricks, which is good. We have 19 bricks waiting to be picked up, and I'm sure we have... oh yeah, we have so much more in the way of stone. So we probably need to modify the train. If we ever get any cash, we need to modify the train to have more cars on it, but I guess we can take a look and see what's happening, because it's full of stone. I don't know what the ratio of stone to bricks is. I guess we'll find out. Let's see what they do here. This should just about fill up these flat cars. Almost. So, okay, so we're still not at the point where we need more flat cars, but we definitely need to add some more gondolas to this train because it can't carry enough stone to make enough bricks to fill up the flat cars. So that'll be something we can, you know, when we stop hemorrhaging cash, be able to do. Yeah, so you'll notice that for this week, 11:01 to 2:02, or I guess that's not a week, that's a quarter, isn't it? I always forget if this this game flips the day-month thing. I don't think it does. Now that we're not, you know, outlaying enormous quantities of capital to construct stuff, we might actually be okay. Alright, now, as I get lost here, Charleston and Albuquerque, how are we looking? Nobody waiting, huh? 3 people. Where is the train? There it is. Okay, only 3 people on there. We're gonna have to do something about that. All right, so we got a new locomotive, 442 Atlantic, that can do 62 miles per hour. Apologies to all of our metric friends. I did change this to American units so I can actually understand what's going on. But I'm very curious because, you know, the whole passenger train thing really works best if you can have one line that goes to a whole bunch of different spots. or you have like hub and spoke models, you have express trains, whatever. We just don't have the cash for it right now. And like I said, the train thing is going to be very, very slow, very hard. But it is possible. We do know that it's possible. You just might have to bear with me a little bit. Okay, now you guys are just inventing new words in chat. Okay, 5 people. We still have, okay. Well, until we have other city pairs to go to, like, we could also go up to Boston. We could go up to Temecula, but Boston's going to require redoing the station here, because that is, that's a stub-end station. I maybe shouldn't have done it this way, but it is what it is. Okay, it held that message for review for some reason. I don't know why. I guess maybe it considers it spam, but I wish YouTube wouldn't do that. Yeah, that is way beyond my level of expertise on names for beavers or products thereof. All right, now does Boston have anybody going? Oh, they got some people going to Charleston. Okay. So if we were to connect here to here, that would actually be a good investment. But I got no money. Okay, so this is still negative. But, oh, right as I say that, it changes again. It's fine. But you'll note, income is increasing while expenditures are going down. That's mostly because I'm not building anything. I guess I should build a headquarters somewhere, but... let's come up here and see. Because sometimes you can modify the train and not have a net expense incurred, depending on what you end up doing to it. Let's see here. I'm not expecting this to actually be possible, but see if I add. See, now it's going to make me pay another $204,000 if I add another one of these in, but. If I get rid of, but I mean, I need to have all the bricks. So I can't really get rid of any cars, but I don't know, I'm just going to have to wait till I have some more cash. I could also just take out more loans, but then you're paying more interest, which, currently $120,000 a quarter, which, you know, that's not a ton of money compared to, you know, what we're actually trying to do. But it's still not something we want to increase. Hey, Sid. How we doing? Having fun time with the trains and talking about beavers, I suppose. Sharing cat pictures in the Discord, but... and dog pictures, dog video. Can't stay for long. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of a weird time for you, I guess, maybe. But people have been asking for the midweek streams and the later at night than 2 in the afternoon streams. So, hopefully we see some folks from other parts of the globe tune in at some other point in time. It's hard to, you know, the folks in like Japan, Australia, India, and all that, it's hard to get them in because the times when they're usually awake and having, you know, extra time for this, I'm sleeping. Versus, you know, like the 1-2 p.m. Saturday stuff, it's like, what, 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. on the other side of the world. So, yeah, that usually doesn't work too well. But, you know, 6:30, 7 p.m. my time. For most people in Europe, that's around midnight, maybe 1 in the morning, so a little bit too late for some of those folks. But not completely impossible to tune in. You have to go to work. Oh, there he is. What's up? Yes, a time that's Japan friendly. If I can manage to get a little bit better schedule situated on my end, I would be open to starting a little bit later on weeknights. Because, you know, that's not going to be 8 a.m. Japan time. It would be like late morning, but I don't know. If you have to go to work during the week, then that's probably not going to work anyway. Time's fine for New Zealand. Noted. What's your offset down there? I know Japan is, from where I am currently, is plus 13. Or I think it's plus 13. It's either plus 13 or plus 14. But you're further west than Japan, right? What spurred you to switch to calling reviews for the middle of the week? I was not having a fun time trying to make 6 episodes of 2 very demanding series every single week. It was absolutely killing me, and I wanted a break. But I didn't want to just stop uploading, and I said, hey, you know what? Let's bring these things back. People really liked these, and it's been fun. Time expenditure or intensity, kind of a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, especially when the episode's starting to get to be about an hour and a half long each for the water beavers. It's too much to keep up with everything else I do have to do. Running around, you know, taking care of stuff and people and all of my other stuff I do for quote-unquote sustenance on this planet. Only 1 a.m. for me, so a little bit on the late side. Yeah, and that's the hard thing about trying to balance North America and Europe and Asia all at once. Is like, it's never going to work for everybody. 4:30 a.m. India time. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, the India time works a little bit better when you have like those early afternoon starts for me. Still pretty late for folks over there, but it's doable. 11 a.m. Friday. Okay. Oh, wait, no, so that means you're further east than Japan. All right, I got to look at a map. I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. Okay, let's take a look at... Well, Battery Smooth isn't here, so we can talk about time zones. Let's see. Okay. I don't know why I always get so surprised when I see how far east New Zealand is. I guess I'm used to looking at a globe, but yeah, okay. Well, I guess 11 a.m. on a Friday is a decent time for you to watch some bit of it. Because I always think Japan is like the furthest east thing, because on the globe it looks like that based on how it's been tapered, but... Yeah. Yeah, most of Australia is on the same longitude or slightly east. And then New Zealand's way off to the side there. Clearly we should have a stream running 24/7 that we all come to. You know, there's channels that do that. I am unfortunately just one man and a computer and an internet connection, so it's a little challenging / impossible to make that work, but the Philippines are right there. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know a whole lot of geography in Southeast Asia. I always get a bunch of stuff confused. All right, we're not going to stand here watching this, you know, loop forever. I'm trying to see if I can get this to be even slightly more profitable just by things, you know, leveling out, because I have to be able to produce enough stuff here. If we can completely fill the gondolas, which would be 21, I think 21 bricks, yeah, then this will be about as good as it's ever going to get. The only thing we'll be able to do is upgrade the power so the train goes quicker, but that costs money that we don't have. Let's go check on our passenger trains here. How many we got waiting? 5. Okay. Where is the train? Where am I? Okay, I went the wrong way. There's the train. 11 people on the train. Anybody waiting here? We have 2. Okay, so it is reasonably popular, I guess. Now, it says it's positive. Or the train itself is, so I guess we're just losing money in, yeah, loan interest and then maintenance. Which I think decreases over time. Yeah, or kind of. Leave the stream running when you sleep. Well, that's a violation of the TOS to do that. And you'll do things to make it interesting. I don't know that I trust you to do that. What are YouTube points? That's a very good question. I'm not entirely sure. I know they started rolling out more stuff to try and engage people in live streams, but I am not really sure how all that works. Also add trams, double-decker Shinkansen. I don't know if this game has that. Like, I know you can download mods. Well, in theory, I've never been able to actually get them to load. Trams in this game are classified as road vehicles. And if I want the achievement for doing rail only, then I have to only use rail. I can't use trams. Also, I'm playing on the US model set, so I'm not going to have Shinkansen anyway. best I can give you is the Avalia Liberties, which, not the same thing. Donate 50,000 to me and you'll get a bajillion. Oh, no, I cannot. I cannot give you 2 points. Also, that's way too much money. It is a pretty silly thing. Like, I don't know. People just like to have status in some sort of a community, I guess. Recommend using a black unlabeled briefcase for this purpose. Yes, surely nothing will go wrong. Or just a duffel bag, like those guys that paid all the Alabama football players in like the 60s. But, the bagman. Now that's legal. It's called name, image, and likeness. But, oh, I guess I could have just clicked on this. So, according to this train is actually making money, but the earnings are still very, very, very poor, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping that this continues and the train can just be completely full, or else we're going to be in for a really bad time. I hope this one just goes all the way to the end. And then just turns around, does nothing. Alright, so 9 there. Like, did I make a mistake trying to pick this pair? I guess I should have looked at a few more. But it says 90% usage, I guess. I guess that's fine. Okay, alright. You've sparked the train discussion. Okay, Brightline in Florida has been hitting people because people are stupid. If you get hit by a train, it is never the train's fault. It is always your fault. It does not matter. The train has one place it can go at any specific time, and you always know what it's going to be. You can always hear it. You can always see it. It has crossing gates and lights and loud clanging bells in the U.S. at least. If you get hit by a train, it is your fault. You have done something wrong. So all these news outlets saying, oh, the Brightline train's killing... Like, no, people are getting killed because they make bad choices. It is not the train's fault. Like, there's videos, like, you have people driving fire trucks across train tracks and stopping. How does a trained emergency response person operating a $500,000 piece of municipal equipment stop on a train track? Bad choices have been made. Also, Florida, just in general, kind of seems to be a magnet for that stuff. But yes, part of the problem with the Brightline is that it is running on, for most of it, is running on Florida East Coast Railway mainline that up until Brightline started running, it did not have trains running at 79 miles per hour, which is the maximum speed the FRA permits trains to run on that classification of track. So it would have been slower freight trains, locals, or whatever. So the Brightline trains come in at 79 miles per hour most of the time, and I guess people just forget that a train is there, even though it's extremely loud, and there's the stuff comes down, and you can't go through the crossing unless you deliberately drive around it. And at that point, you've already made the decision that it's worth getting creamed by a train to save 3 minutes at a stoplight. Yeah, the infrastructure is a huge problem. But the only way that train was going to get built is if they used existing infrastructure. Like, the political appetite in this country is not there for passenger rail development, even though it should be, demonstrably. But, money talks, and people in power want to do what they want to do, and they don't care about anybody else, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. So that ends up just kind of being a mess. And then, of course, the media loves controversy because it gets them money. So they say, oh, this train's killing people. Like, okay, well, I guess technically that's true, but why is that happening? It's happening because people are dumb and they make bad choices. And they should have, when they started running the Brightline trains through those crossings, they should have upgraded them to have what's called quad gates, so that all of the lanes of travel are blocked so people can't go around or whatever. Most other countries who have trains that go quickly through residential areas, Japan, not always, but Japan has a lot better infrastructure for this in most cases. They'll have the barriers on all of the lanes, or they'll have it completely grade separated entirely if it's high speed stuff. And it just, it does still happen, but people also just pay attention, They make smart choices. They think about what their actions do to affect themselves and others, and then they don't get hit by the train. we're not even an hour into this, and you've already caused me to have a rant on trains. Congratulations. Yeah, the reason I built this like this is because it's the most efficient way to get the stone to the to this thing and then here. But yeah, it is interesting that it was going to allow me to do this. I tried to pick for the first train route in this something that was going to be relatively local, where I could just have it go around and around and around. But going back to the train safety thing, that's part of the reason why high-speed rail is so expensive to build. No, Brightline, Florida is not high-speed rail, and it will never be high-speed rail. It does not go fast enough, and it does not have grade separation. But part of the reason, not all of it, but part of the reason the California project is so expensive is because it has to be completely grade separated on brand new right-of-way, brand new viaduct, tunnels, and all that. It is very expensive, very time-consuming to build, because Class 7 high-speed rail track up to, I think it's 180-something miles an hour, I think it's Class 7. But that has to be completely grade separated, and there has to be barriers so that people, wildlife, vehicles, etc. cannot get onto the tracks. And at that speed, usually you're going to have viaduct for extended periods of time because you have to have minimal elevation changes, and the curves have to have such huge easements that it just build new track. Electric buses and the efficiency thereof. I am not an electrical engineer. But stuff like electric vehicles make a whole lot of sense in specific applications when the route is predictable, you have frequent stops and starts, and the vehicle is always going to have at least some period of time in a 24-hour period where it's not being used and can be recharged. If we're talking about like battery electric. And stuff like school buses, delivery vehicles, and some transit buses are perfect for that. But other applications, it just really depends. Trolley buses, however, like the dual mode buses that have diesel engines, but also the, I forget what the actual term is for it, but like the big, it's not technically a pantograph, but it's like the pole with the guideway on the top. Like I think Philadelphia has some, San Francisco might have some. I want to say they do. They also have actual trolleys. But trolley buses, the dual mode ones, make a whole lot of sense, because then it's just a really flexible vehicle you can take a whole bunch of different places. And if you can have it run on wire, then that's perfect. But if it has to come off wire, they can still go somewhere else. It just, you got to use common sense when you're trying to decide what kind of modes of transportation you're going to implement, because not everything is going to work universally everywhere, every time. And sometimes people get kind of caught up on the whole, well, I want to have a train here. It's like, okay, cool, trains are nice, but they're really expensive, and they only work well when there's a lot of people that want to go to a very few specific places. If you don't have that, then a bus makes more sense. But in the United States, at least, buses have kind of a negative connotation for a variety of reasons, founded or unfounded. And people, the bus, I guess, to be blunt, is not as sexy of an option as the train is. So people are like, well, I don't want a bus, I want to get on the train. Okay, well, do you have money for the train? No. So then nothing gets built. There's a really annoying level crossing on my way to work. It's in the range of the station, so when the train's in the station, the level crossing is down the whole 5 minutes. Yep, the train from the opposite direction pulls into the station. I've seen, because YouTube, I guess, predicts what you want to see before you want to see it. I've been seeing so many videos on trains in Japan, and almost all of the channels that I've seen have at least one or two of those talking about where, exactly what you're talking about. Oh, well, the train's in the station, and the station platform ends, and then right next to it, like 5 feet away, you have the road and you have cars driving by, but the crossing gates have to go down. I've seen one that's like I forget where this is. I'm assuming somewhere in Tokyo, but it's like kind of like a hybrid subway above ground line where there's actually a gate, like a big tall metal gate that closes across in front of the train while it's in the station, and then when the train's ready to leave, then they open that up, and then the train goes by and the road's blocked. But it's so close and it's there for so long that they basically have to do that, or else cars could never go through. Are you building CERN? No, I am not. I am not intelligent enough for that. Okay, so electric vehicles better than gas. That is an interesting discussion because there's a lot of variables at play, and it's kind of hard to just say one or the other. if something is better. It used to be the case that the electric charger network was not robust enough to support cross-country travel. Now it kind of is if you plan correctly. But at the end of the day, you still have to wait for the vehicle to charge. And operating purely off of battery. If you have to get somewhere quick, long distance, and especially big stuff like trucks, the battery technology is not there yet. Unless you want to swap entire battery packs, but then you have to build out the whole network of places that can do that. And at some point, you end up creating more problems than you solve if you try to get through stuff too quickly. That's why it makes so much more sense, in my opinion, to start with the stuff like the local delivery trucks, the smaller vehicles. School buses, again, a hugely, hugely beneficial application for this, depending on where you are. And just, don't try to do everything all at once, because stuff's going to fail and the people are going to get mad and they're going to stop supporting the technology. Used to have some nice in-gauge Amtrak carriages with lights inside and a diesel loco. I bet Kato made those, because they make everything for in-scale. I've got a set of those. They had, I think it says a P-42, some Viewliners, and some Amfleet 2s. Working on getting some model railroading stuff done. Spoiler alert, that's going to be second channel launching sometime in the next month or two. Hopefully, if I can manage to get everything squared away. But yeah, I've got some stuff in scale, and I've got a bunch of Amtrak stuff in HO scale as well. Just have to get some space cleared out so I can start building things. Okay, so here's the thing about Amtrak travel being expensive, is that it has a federal mandate to be as profitable as it can, because it is a public, it's like a kind of public-private corporation the way it's set up, but it's essentially a private corporation where the majority owner is the federal government. And the way that things are run, it has to, by law, charge as much money as it can possibly reasonably charge for any given seat, unless you book super far in advance. So like if you're trying to do long distance travel like the week of, forget it. You're not going to be able to afford it. But you can actually book cross-country travel in coach, which I probably would not recommend because it's like 3.5-4 days from Chicago to LA. But you can go less than the cost of a plane ticket. Granted, it's going to take several days, but you can also get in the first class being used because that's the term they use, not because it's actually first class, but the sleeper accommodations. If you plan far enough ahead, it's actually not that bad, considering what you get. But I would love to see a future in which we had more transit options, more Amtrak going between major cities that are like a couple hours apart at cheap prices. The Northeast Corridor can be really cheap, but you have to be on that line for that to actually be useful. If you book off-peak hours, so like not during super crowded morning or evening commutes, you can get pretty cheap between most cities on the Northeast Corridor. But that's like the only part of the country where Amtrak is frequent enough to have that kind of a cheap ticket available. The new line going between Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans, I think end-to-end might be $15, which is pretty stinking good. Have you ever driven that? Driving I-10 in that part of the country is miserable. It is awful. Talking about electric vehicles, there's a lot of variables at play, but the tech of electric stuff is mature enough that most of them aren't really relevant anymore. I'm tempted to agree with you for the most part on that. I do think there's a couple applications like long-haul trucking where it still doesn't make any sense. But short-haul stuff, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys... We talked about this, I think, maybe once or twice before. But there's a company, I think in Canada, called Edison Motors that is making like hybrid trucks where they're still battery-operated, but they have a generator on board. Kind of like the whole diesel-electric locomotive situation we have for freight rail. And I guess passenger rail long distance too, to where it doesn't have to run on batteries as in it recharges, but it utilizes the efficiency of a generator running at a set speed all the time to keep batteries charged, and then the traction motors actually drive the truck, and it ends up being pretty cool. Yeah, that's what people forget, is electric cars actually predate internal combustion engines being widespread adopted. Like, late 1800s, people were making electric cars. They were terrible, but they worked. And they were very expensive. And then internal combustion just became the favored thing because it could be mass-produced very cheaply. And then, of course, the industrial machine of World War I helped a whole lot with that, and then World War II helped a whole lot with the diesels, and that's part of the reason why electric rail in the United States kind of died off. Yeah. There's always going to be edge cases for also... We've just been sitting here... I'm so sorry, VOD watchers. But we've just been sitting here talking about stuff for the past, like, 10 minutes while we try to make more money. Which clearly is not working because we're still in the red. So we need to make some substantial improvements here and see exactly what these people are wanting to do. So I think probably the only way to get around this is going to be to just take out a whole lot more debt and improve the efficiency of our trains here. Which, you know, long-term, maybe not the best strategy, but we're never going to see this number stop being red if we don't increase the amount of this stuff that we can make at one time. So if we go in here and we edit this guy, we've got newer steam locomotives available. Remember, this is the worst one in the game, at maximum 28 miles an hour. This one will go 37, this one goes 47, 62, and this one also goes 62. But the amount of tractive effort that these larger ones can do is just so much more. Like, this is 9,000, 22.4, 30, almost 36 with the 10-wheeler, and this is $2 million by itself. But if you do that, then this thing can go over twice as fast and can have more cars attached to it. So if I add this, I cannot click and drag. I'm going to have to manually move all this. All right, well, it is what it is. So if you get rid of that, can I open this at the same time? I'm just going to borrow a lot of money, and we're not going to worry about it until later. Okay, I do have to go back in here. Okay, good, it's saved. So this now can go substantially faster, but then I also have to replace these cars. So remember, these have a maximum speed of 31 miles an hour, but this one can go 50. Which is about twice as fast as we're currently going. And it can also carry more per unit. So, let's see. That would be 36, and this would also be 36, but I'm going to do... Let's try 6 of those, and then get rid of this. So I got 3 of those. This is going to cost me $5.7 million, but it's going to hold... basically almost twice as much as we currently can do, and it's faster. Okay, I'll get back to chat in a second. I just have to make sure this is actually going to be, you know, viable. Let's follow this around. Maybe a little bit better here. Okay, let's see. Yes, I read Boxcar Children religiously as a child. And I think at the time I stopped, they might have had like 50 books. They're still making them. Obviously, the original author has been dead for decades, but they have been making so many of those books. I haven't obviously read any of them in forever, but I absolutely love that. Yeah, so the tech thing... with the electric vehicles, it really is just, you know, you got to put your money where your mouth is. And there's so much emphasis politically, again, regardless of what party you decide to support. There's so much emphasis politically on not supporting things that are not widely accepted by the public. Even if, objectively, there's improvements that can be made if you do it. Like, the politician's job is to get elected, right? They're going to say it's to serve the people. Their job is to get elected. That's how they decide to motivate all their stupid stuff they end up doing. So why would you support something that is unpopular if your only motivation is to get reelected or to get money for whatever, or get your people in power? It's just, people who don't choose to live their life dishonestly obviously are not going to make those kind of choices, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm really hoping that now that this train has been upgraded, this kind of reverses our trend of, you know, not having any money, because now I have $25 million in loans. And I spent a whole lot of money that I technically didn't have. But I think if we can get these people to, you know, use all the bricks we're giving them, and if we can get this to stop thinking I want to put wood in these because we're not doing that, then we'll be in a much better position. This has 199, 200. Obviously, it can't carry all that. It can carry 60, but that's a whole lot more. Remember, this was, I think it could only take 21 in the old thing. And now this has 36 bricks. And, oh, I lost it. This says it can carry 24, but it really should say 36 because this this third flat car is not going to be taking logs. Oh, yes. Yes, Dr. Cousin, you are absolutely correct. But I would like to try to stay kind of clear of getting into political debates for that purpose, but there is a certain level of stupidity that I think is thrust upon people who don't know any better. Like, just look for, you know, actual facts, and don't just accept whatever somebody on the TV tells you. Figure your stuff out. Talk to real people. Don't listen to talking heads, especially if they're elected. Alright, so now we actually have all 36 of those bricks working here. Look at that! It's in the... well, it's not green, it's blue, technically. But things are progressing quite nicely. And this is still negative because we have a lot of vehicle maintenance, but I think we may have more than doubled our money on this one train. Progressing quite nicely. Alright, so let's leave this alone for a minute. Go take a look at our failure train over here. Okay, 5 people waiting. Nobody waiting, and the train is... oh, it's actually just left. Okay, it's half full, and it says it's still profitable, so I guess that's fine. But I think we're going to want to expand this if we can. Oh yeah, no, the band called Talking Heads, that's fine. It's just there's so much pressure in the media landscape to just generate clicks that they'll do almost anything to do that. And unfortunately, controversy sells. And it gets harder and harder to run a profitable media enterprise if all you're ever doing is telling the truth, because that's boring. You can get much more money just, you know, parroting stupid sound bites of stuff that get people really pissed off. Okay, we want a passenger station for Boston. Close enough for all of these people to actually live in. So if I were to see that, I guess that's probably better than what I had before, and it has the ability to go that way, so we'll put that there. Now I just have to have tracks. See, what I did with this is the problem here, is I have this set up as a stub end station, when I probably should have built it as just a regular passenger station. But this, if I just cut this road out and I build in a normal passenger station right here at the end, that can still reach most of the stuff. So we would just have to, you know, redo all of our routing here. Let's hit pause. And let's do this. Sorry about you. I guess this is going to be fine to come out of the tunnel and just connect to that. Yeah, that will be good there. And if I come out of the end of this up here to Boston, which says there's a collision, with that thing. It's almost $1 million. Okay, so we'll have to do this manually a little bit. We'll just come out this way. See if that was enough to get that to miss. No. Okay. Well, we'll just have to continue doing a little bit of this here. Road crossings also, they don't slow the train down, but it's going to cause traffic issues, and we don't necessarily want that, because then people get mad. Okay, why is that mad about collisions? Stop that. 75. Can I do anything better than this? Okay. You know, it's fine. We'll just leave that there. But now we can go to Boston. And then further than that, if we decide to. Alright, so now what's going to have to happen here is this is going to become Boston to Charleston to Albuquerque to Charleston. So we'll just remove all that. And just pop that there. And I think that's going to be fine. We might need to upgrade the locomotive to try and go faster, but I think this is going to work. Thank you, mute button. So now it's going to be negative, but wait, why is it? Oh, okay, because it joined up in the middle of it. All right. How's the geography in this game? So here's the thing about how Transport Fever 2 assigns stuff is the city names are randomly generated from a list, and it just sticks them based on whatever region you're in. So this actually doesn't have any bearing to what is real in the world. It just assigns names. It is pretty funny, though, sometimes, what gets assigned. So, yeah, the earnings are going to be messed up for a while because I had all these things modified. I'm interested to see. So we have people waiting in Boston and Charleston, and there's somebody in Albuquerque. Who's going to get on the train? Okay, we got 3. Who is waiting in Charleston? We have 6. Who's waiting in Boston? 6. And now someone is, excuse me, waiting again. They're going to be waiting a long time. I do wish this could go a little bit faster. This is the fastest game speed I can do. I can speed up the time, but I'd rather not do that, because then it gets to be like 2050 really quick, and then there's no other vehicles to get unlocked, and then it's like, alright, forget it. But money-wise, we were actually making a decent bit. You know, this isn't a lot, but all things considered, positive is positive. Look forward to model railroad content. Sounds fun to me. Sounds fun to me, too. It's not going to be on this channel, though. I have a second one I'm working on building up. But I will let you guys know when that actually is ready for consumption. Then I have to get a couple things squared away. I would love to randomly generate town names. I mean, that's kind of what this is, just from a list. I would love to eventually do, like, travel videos with stuff. So we'll see. If I can manage to make enough money playing with beavers on the internet to go and, like, you know, ride trains in Japan, that would be awesome. But that's an expensive plane ticket. It's like $1,500. It's like, I can't do that right now. But I can do little history videos and talk about model train stuff, and I can. I've got a lot of kits, and I've got stuff I can build. See what people want to see, and just move on from there. Roast Hand. That sounds like an incredible name for a city. All right, let's check back in on this. See who gets on. 9. Okay. Oh, I need to rename this because that's not accurate anymore. But 9 people here. Is it going to tell me where they want to go? No. Probably not. But Boston will tell me. People going to Albuquerque, people going to Charleston. Eventually it'll tick up. Temecula. Where's Temecula? Okay, so that's right there. I don't think I want to have the train go there as well, unless we made a loop. You know, a loop might actually not be that bad, but we'd have to make a lot of money before we could make that happen. And we've got, wow, we got 13 people waiting to go to Albuquerque. They're not going to fit unless these people get off. Okay, the train's full. That means we can add another car, another carriage. So this has a max speed of 50 miles an hour. The locomotive we're using has a maximum speed of... I didn't think it could go that fast. I thought for sure... Or is this a 260 mogul? Okay, that's what it is. 47 miles per hour, so that's fine. This is more money than we currently have. I wonder if we can get this earnings to increase. enough for me to be able to buy another car here. So we do have to consider maintenance as well. Because this one obviously will hold 20, but the maintenance is like another 40%. I guess we'll see what happens. Earnings are still very negative. Alright, so everybody gets off there. Who gets back on? Okay, 8. Go into Charleston. We can work with that. I just wish this would go a little bit faster because I know there's going to be some of you watching this, and especially VOD watchers, who are going to be bored to tears while we wait for this nonsense. Hey, that says that's positive. Okay, that's ship stuff. I feel like there should be something else I'm doing here. So tickets went down. Oh, that's because I basically stopped the line right in the middle of what I was doing. That's probably why. I wish it would break up between passenger and freight so I could see, but I guess that's what the individual lines are for. Yeah, see, this is, it's working. It's fixing itself. Profit last 12 months, $14,975. Oh, now it's negative. Yeah, being in debt in the beginning is unfortunately a reality in this game, but once you start making even the tiniest bit of profit, it just goes crazy from there. But you have to get over the hump. It's like the beginning of water beavers. Okay, so here we go. Total cargo almost 1,500, passengers almost 400. I guess we're doing fine. Okay. So the bricks are doing well. We're now providing more than the original demand was. I think the original demand was like 37. So as we can continue filling that need, the city will grow, and then it's going to want more. But the big challenge is serving multiple types of needs with only trains. That's when you get into some crazy complicated terminals with a whole bunch of storage. But it just takes time. You know it well. So now this says this is negative again. If I could get to if I could get to like 800,000, I could add a second carriage to this. But if this isn't full now, then it's probably not needed. Like, it very well could fill up in the middle here, but for right now it's probably okay. Yeah, see, it's only 7. Alright, let's leave that alone. Come back over here. Alright, how are we doing here? Obviously, it's going to be empty there, but we've got 12 bricks on the side of the road. 154 bricks here. Bricks, stone. It is a process. You are absolutely correct, and it does, in fact, take time. Good job. So, viability of adding Temecula as a destination here wouldn't be too hard to put a station there, but we would have to redo the Albuquerque one to not be a terminus, which, you know, we can easily do. Probably the simplest thing would be to put a passenger station, build a new road, and put a passenger station like right here-ish. Or actually, here would work well. Obviously, I don't have the cash to do it, but that would be minimally disruptive. Put that there, and then we would just go probably around this mountain into Temecula and then there, but that's a long way away. Gonna take some time. Obviously, as the trains continue to get faster, then this gets easier. You start making more money. But everybody coming out of Charleston, or I'm sorry, Albuquerque, filled up the train. I don't know how many are going to get off in Charleston, but we will see. Only 2 wanting to go to Boston. Or 2 coming from Boston. I don't know how to read this. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I know I don't have the money right now, but we should try to find some other supply chain to get into. It's like some of these, like, it's the luck of the draw with the industries. Like, some of them are going to be really terrible. Some of them are going to be perfect. Like Boston here wanting the gears, and then the bread. It's not gonna happen. Not anytime soon. But Temecula also wants gears, but there's no facility. Charleston wants gears. There's no facilities here for this. Everybody wants these. Where in the heck am I supposed to make those? Because I don't see any. I don't see any. Oh, here it is. Machines Factory in Sacramento. Is there anywhere else? No. Doesn't look like it. So if I wanted to do... See, this is... Like, airplanes are really useful late game because you can just have hubs for stuff and the planes don't care where they go. But to make machines, you have to have so many different processes. Like, obviously, you have to have the steel, which is the iron and the coal. Or not iron and coal. Iron and... No, I guess it is iron and coal. It's just different colors. My brain goes to RuneScape, where this is copper and tin and you're making bronze. But that's not how this works. We'd have to have this here connected to here, which has to have input from... Oh, jeez. Everywhere across the map. It would have to be here, and then you might as well just do that there, and then... It gets really complicated really quick. Gears by Boston, you say? Oh, you're right. Okay. So there's that one there, but the materials required to actually make this... You don't have a way to make steel, unless you go all the way up here to Escondido. That is really far away. And then you also have to have the sawmill. But, okay, the sawmill's not that bad. You just have here to here, and then this could go here, but then you still have to have... I maybe should have re-rolled this map. This is not going to be easy. Now, if we had a coal thing over here, this wouldn't be bad because we could have the iron ore and the coal going right here super simply. See you, Sid. All right, 8 people waiting there. We've got 1 and 1 there, and then in Boston we've got 1. Okay. Well, it seems the earnings did not pan out. Oh, now it's positive. You just never know how it's going to end up. And it also doesn't help we're paying $250,000 a quarter in interest. That's not great. But I'm not going to be able to repay this until we have a lot more money. It's fine. I do wish this could go faster, but I don't think it can. Just have to keep ourselves entertained here. At some point, I will call it enough is enough and stop torturing you guys having to watch this train go around in a little circle for hours. But if we can afford to make incremental upgrades, I think it's going to be fine. Midright Steel Mill. There is a coal mine not too far. Talking about this one here. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's one right here. So it might actually make more sense depending on how you end up doing this. Because trains like straight lines, or at least things connected in a order that is acceptable. So if we went here to here to here, then that could then go here to the machines factory, and then this could go here to here to here and be fine. And that would make machines, which are not close enough to Boston to just be absorbed. We'd have to have a train going here to here. See, this is where this gets really expensive, is when you have to have things shuffled a specific place in a short distance, because that still has the same basic cost of having to buy an entire train for that. I do think this is a good idea, though, when we get to the point of being able to afford it. What other genres are you fond of? Colony Sim, RTS Tactics games are all pretty similar. What about platformers or RPGs? I never was good at platformers. And I did not have a Nintendo or anything growing up, so I never got into, like, the Mario stuff. I played Frogger, like, twice on, like, original PlayStation. Which wasn't the platform it was, you know, released for originally, but one of those things. I really liked playing a lot of Age of Empires. I was terrible at it. I'm not good at it. Not going to stream it or make videos on it, but I always thought it was fun. Simulation games, played a lot of flight sim, a lot of train sim. Not really good at anything that involves real-time combat, unfortunately. Never been good at shooters. But I would probably have to say colony sims and logistics stuff are my favorites, which ends up being convenient, because that's what I end up doing on here. But I heard Squirrel with a Gun was good. I think we talked about that in Discord a little bit. But I played a lot of Skyrim. I played a lot of Fallout 4. Played Fallout 76 for like an hour and decided that was enough of that. But I always like stuff like that. Again, I'm not really good at it. I'm not really great at combat anything, but it's pretty fun. Then, of course, Fallout 4 had the settlement building thing, and you know I spent a whole lot of time doing that. It's just, Timberborn is like the perfect kind of game for me as a person. Because it's fun, it's infinitely replayable, and there's enough community content with all the mods and stuff that it ends up being very enjoyable. Plus, you know, the whole I get to make videos on it and that pays my bills is amazing, and I never want to take that for granted. It's just fun. I was never into Final Fantasy either. I did not get bitten by the Japanese content bug until I was already basically out of college. So I missed all of that. But I've heard that's good. I got some friends who are really into Final Fantasy. Like people like the kind of really into Final Fantasy where they have been playing FF14 online for years and years and years. I heard Fire Emblem's Three Houses is good. I don't know if that's available on PC. I don't have any Nintendo products. So, like, anything on Switch, forget it. Yeah, I want to add more cars to this, but we're not making enough money. And it's not stable enough to really have any idea of actual trends, because it ends up not being possible to forecast anything. Let's see. Oh, well, before I was making money on YouTube, I was streaming Persona 5 on Twitch. I didn't stream the whole game, but I streamed like 120 hours of it, I think, including the new content at the end with the upgraded edition thing. That was fun. I actually got monetization on Twitch, I think, like a couple months before I got it on YouTube. Now, I never had like a huge audience or anything. It was mostly like 5 or 6 people. Almost all of whom I knew in real life, but that was fun. And I'd like to get back into it. It being like streaming other types of stuff on Twitch. I don't have the time. Someday, maybe. Okay, so it says it's positive. Like this says it's making, or the profit on this is $600,000. Yet the earnings are still incredibly poor. But you can see these previous 2 quarters actually did turn a profit. It's just not enough of a profit to make any sort of actual benefit here. And it still can't keep up with loan interest. Which, you know, $25 million is considerable amount of debt to have saddled yourself with in 1906. That's a lot of money, folks. But if we can manage to, you know, actually be in the black here, a whole $6,000. I don't know. How far back is this going to let me go? 7 years. If I change that, does it change this? No. It's just the last four quarters. I feel like this is fine. We just have to be able to actually make cash here. And vehicle maintenance, I don't think ever really goes down. Track maintenance doesn't go down. Infrastructure maintenance doesn't go down. Load insurance definitely never goes down unless you pay it. Yeah, already starting off in the hole. I guess it just depends on the luck of the draw how many bricks this thing makes. And if it's full. So now it says it has 23. But I really need this to be closer to 36. But because it can only take 60, I should have made another car for that. It only takes 60, then it can only make so much at a time. Yeah, 900 million bucks. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But now it has 32 bricks. So I guess that is about as close as it's going to ever be. 33. And, I mean, this has plenty of production. It just doesn't have the ability to do any more shipment because the train can't come fast enough. So there is something that happens if stuff is piled up in the stations where stuff just disappears. But I don't think we need to worry about that quite yet. It'll end up being an issue here before it's an issue anywhere else. But this is going to produce just about as fast as you want it to. Like 400 without being upgraded. And we can't make use of all of it. Yes, let's make money by, you know, selling our money we don't yet have to somebody else. Flawless. Flawless logic. That's definitely not going to cause any problems. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about upgrading this. I wish there was a faster speed than 4 times, because I know this is absolutely killing you guys not seeing anything happen here. Okay, where is the train? Is it up here? Is it down here? I don't see the thing for it. Ah, here it is. Alright, so less than half full. Who's going to get on, though? Okay, we got 4. Who's going to get on here? Okay, 5 more. That works, I guess. No, this is maximum speed, yes. It's on 4 times. I don't know if there's an option for, No, I can't, I think there's probably a mod to enable, how fast the game goes, but... No. No actual setting. There's a reason the train only is a really hard thing to do, and it's mostly because of time. Because you can turn a profit, it's just really, really hard. Legalized stowaways. Okay, well, the whole deal with stowaways is they're not paying customers. So if you legalized it, then you wouldn't make any money, because then nobody's going to pay for something they can get for free. Alright, so there's only 6 people here. You know, I hate to say it, but I might have to actually, you know, end this line if it's not making enough cash. I mean, it says technically... Oh, now it's not a profit. But we're paying maintenance on the vehicles for this. And the ticket revenue... I wish this would split so I could actually know, but I have a hunch, based on the fact that this isn't full. The ticket revenue is not paying for this. But if I sold this stuff, I wouldn't have the ability to buy it again for a long time. Okay, so that just got there and gave me $69,000. And then I'm assuming the freight train just dropped something off and it made a whole lot more money. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and sell this. How much am I gonna get for this? I guess I could find out. Okay, so this would, if I sold those, it would give me almost $700,000 now, but the condition keeps going down. That would put me in the black, and I wouldn't have to pay maintenance on this. So let's just do that. Unfortunately, the line is still there, but it just we have to get cash inflow. Got to. Very profitable line for the Mechanics Guild. Yep, you betcha. They're making money hand over fist. So now, part of the reason, you know, it makes sense to do that is This is insanely profitable, relatively. And if we can manage to upgrade this service, then it's going to make more money, and then we can get back to the other one. Because we have to have more cars on this train. Absolutely must. And if maintenance has been effectively... Okay, well, not cut in half, but it'll have a decent amount removed. Track maintenance and infrastructure maintenance is unfortunately still going to be the same because that stuff is there, but the vehicle maintenance is going to be substantially reduced. And we should, for too long, be able to upgrade this train. No, we're not tearing out railroads. We just sold the train. The track is still there. I think the mistake there was building a passenger railroad between two places that were not also being served by freight. So if the Berkeley folks are going somewhere, like say Temecula, that would make sense to put something there because you can share the infrastructure of the station with that. But now we actually have positive quarters. Granted, we still don't have any money, but this is a whole lot better. Now, the investments of, selling the vehicles definitely tipped this into the positive direction, but overall, better balance sheet. We'll see what an entire quarter without the passenger train is going to, do to this. But I think it's going to be substantial. If you tried filing for bankruptcy to negate your debt, yeah. I think the creative accounting bit of this being actually like legalized and not resulting in a mob trying to burn your house down didn't really become a thing until recently. Recently being in the time scale here. This is like 1906. This is still like industrial robber baron territory. Especially railroads. So if I can get even just like one more gondola, I think that's going to be better than nothing. Although now this is full and we got some bricks here. All right, how much is it going to cost me to have a gondola here? One more of the big ones. $560,608 at a maintenance cost of $94,000 a year. Oh boy. Well, this is the first one we'd have to add, so I do need to... Wait, why does that cost $1 million? Why does that cost so much extra money? Oh, did I already click it? I did. Okay. So one of these for 560. If this gets that high, then we will have to click it. Borealis route is cheap. Yeah. That is a great example of a smart route decision that Amtrak made, because that's already served by the Empire Builder. But the Empire Builder is a very slow train that gets delayed constantly. And selling short-distance tickets on a long-distance train is not really good business for the quality of either experience. So, you supplement it. Well, okay, it used to be Horizon cars, and then those all completely fell apart. So now I think it's running with 3 superliners and a pair of diesels. Why did that go away? Did I do something wrong here? No. Okay. I just closed the dialogue. But from what I understand, the Borealis was very popular when it first started and has been relatively profitable. You were loaned $900 million in today's money. Clearly, you are wealthy enough to claim bankruptcy and watch your debts disappear. Yes, but then we fail. Then the game is over. Ooh, we're dropping frames like flies. I wonder if that's because it's that's because YouTube's complaining about the resolution here. I don't know. I mean, if the game looks okay, then I'm fine. I'm not gonna, stop it and restart. But tip appeared because you just unlocked buses. Okay, well, I'm not going to have any because this is trains only mode. Those of you just joining, sorry, it's slow. I would say watch on 2x speed, but you can't do that with a live stream. So, I can't decide if it's worth taking out additional debt to make this train better, with the knowledge that it's probably not going to substantially improve things. But this also is not very entertaining to watch. So we're going to have to do something. So this is still negative. Wow, you know what? The difference between the tickets sold and the maintenance saved actually suggests that the passenger train was actually kind of profitable. Okay, so we are a month into this. Oh, this isn't even a quarter. This is just 2 months. So why does that say to February if that's start? Okay, whatever. Math is hard. No, I guess that's because it would be 12, then no. No, that's 3 months. Why is that? Okay. I'm not going to ask questions I can't figure out the answer to. I'm going to try not to, at least. See, it's like the only path out of this is just accruing additional debt that's going to cost more money. Wait, is this loan interest only like 1%? Well, if it's quarterly, it would be like 4 or 5. I guess that's fine. Yeah, you know what? It's more important that this is actually enjoyable to watch than it is for this to be like that kind of successful. So I will just add a couple more of these guys here. 1.6 mil. Let's keep that in there. And then go back here, modify that, and then let it do what it's got to do. What's our debt service now going to be? Like 260? No, it's going to be 270 because that's what that is. I wish I could play this at 2 times speed. Now the demand is for 71 bricks. See, if we could just have like one more thing that would make us some cash, that'd be great. I may have to get into trams just to make some money based on distribution of stuff, but I really don't want to if I don't have to. Oh, see, now it's going to do this stupid thing where it tries to allocate the new carriages for something else. What's the game all about? Spending time watching trains go around in a circle. But no, all jokes aside, it is transportation logistics, trying to match industries with destinations that require them, and being profitable in the process. And so far, we have failed massively in the being profitable department. But I'm admittedly trying to do a very stupid thing that is a very hard and slow process. No, tunnels are expensive. That's generally not a smart choice. And we're just waiting for the trains to go around and around and around. See, now it's profitable. Now it says 443. We got 36 bricks. And as soon as we start dropping off more stone than 60, I think we can make more than 36 bricks, which is kind of the whole reason why I took out extra debt to put more cars on the train, but is what it is. Alright, so that got us some more cash. Let's see, if they can just get their stuff together. Have more than 60 things popped in here. Oh, but there's only 30... Wait, what? Why are there only 33 things of stone ready? Okay, 34. Please tell me this stopped, stopping. That doesn't make any sense. It was making more than that. It was making a much more than this before. Bonsai and Snake Timberborn map. I don't think I'm familiar with that. Sounds fun. See, now... See, I don't... Yeah, it's only 43, but every time before that it has had 60, so what's up with that? Do I at least have 48 bricks? I got 33. Why is it slowing down? Should not be slowing down. This needs to go a lot faster, but the shipment is, I guess not fast enough. Oh, you know what? I bet it's because the train slowed down because there's more stuff on it. So it thinks it needs to produce less. Tomorrow's Water Reavers episode is already recorded. I did that yesterday. And I already forgot what I did. No, I built a bunch of stuff. Organized things and trying to optimize a few more of those resource chains, but it is a very slow process. It is extremely, excruciatingly, painfully slow. But I still feel like we made good progress. Oh, that's not spoilers. Like, that's what happens in every episode. The fun is how you get there, not what the end result. You know the screen, what's the thumbnail for every video I take after I stop recording. Like, the thumbnail contains stuff that was made in the episode. I've always done that. Yeah, decor would help. It's just, I've always been so reluctant to spend the science points on it that it just ends up not being, okay, now we got 58. That's better than nothing. I'm not making a frog pond. Yeah, I guess I could spend science on the cheap decor. It's just, it seems so counterintuitive when I'm trying to unlock, like, the big expensive stuff to spend a bunch of time and resources on, like, the little things that I never really think matter that much. There we go. We got 47 bricks. Okay, the 17 happiness milestone actually would make a huge difference. You're correct. I should have got a mod that would do, like, 10 times speed for this. This is excruciating. It's absolutely excruciating. Okay. So now, and all that, and I'm still negative overall. It's because of all the debt. Man, if we're in here for, like, 2 hours, and we still haven't, like, accomplished anything sustainable, that's going to be an absolute travesty. Okay. The tickets were low here, I guess, because we didn't make as much brick, but I wish I could scroll back further than this, because right now this is not enough context. But this number at least is on par to pace this, maybe exceed it slightly. Vehicle maintenance obviously is going to be more. No, never mind, it just ended. Alright. Well, I mean, this is getting better. Kind of. I don't know, I feel like we're literally going in circles and getting nowhere. You want to try to restart this? You're the ones that have to watch it, not me. I just have to play it. Go to the finance chart. It's miserable. Keep in mind, this is because I'm buying equipment. It's not been terrible for the rest of this, but it kind of is less red. Yeah. So obviously this is like the initial build out. This is, I think, when I opened the passenger one. Maybe, maybe not. Or that's when I bought all the new equipment. I don't know. Yeah, it's just really hard. It's really hard to know for sure if things are going well, because we have so little to go on. It's also really hard to start in, well, it would be harder to start in 1850, but it's hard to start in the 1900s because all the trains are slow. You have very limited options. I wish. This game doesn't do real estate sale. Yeah, I think this might be irrecoverable at this point. Because we can't really, yeah. We can't really get anywhere. Just because there's not enough sources of income, and this is too slow. See, even this is still negative. Anybody opposed to just restarting? Because I feel like this is not very entertaining to watch. If enough people object, then I guess we'll just keep doing this. But I don't think this is going to go anywhere. If we tried moving to France, well, this is the U.S. Map, or the U.S. stock set, I guess. Yeah, this is just getting worse. Unfortunate. Alright. I'm going to call it. Let's go to the main menu. Let's do another free game. Except this time maybe we can get some more cities closer together if we do higher amount of towns. Yeah, see, those are closer. Industries are probably still fine. See, I already added a whole bunch of rolling stock, and I couldn't have done that. Let's see, very high industries. 164. Okay, that's going to be way, way hard. How many is very high for towns? 21? Okay, well, the difference with denser towns like this is you're going to have a lot more opportunities for passenger stuff. I think that might be worth getting into. But then the other challenge is you have all these industries. It's very, very, very hard to build train tracks. So if we take this down to 132, it's probably fine. Reduce seeds. So I can try to get something that doesn't have as many mountains. I could just lower the hilliness a little bit. $69 loan. There you go. I feel like this is probably fine. Let's go with that. USA, because that's the only thing I know. 1900, easy. I'm not playing on very hard. Sorry you missed a start. Well, you're just in time for the restart. This game is about logistics management and building transit. And I'm trying, like an idiot, to do this with only making trains. No cars, no planes, no ships. So it gets to be very, very, very hard, especially in the beginning. And I made mistakes, so we're restarting. Let's do 2 cargo types for the towns. That's going to probably make it easier long term. Up to 6? What kind of masochist do you think I am? I'm never going to be able to do that with trains. I will leave it on up to 4, though. I'll appease you. Alrighty. Avoid tight radii during track constructions. These reduce the maximum permissible speed. Yep. I wish I could make tunnels cheaper. I don't need to make bridges high enough for ships to pass if I don't have any ships. Alright, so a whole lot more towns should give us a little bit of a better chance at succeeding with the passenger stuff. But let's take a look. Let's hit pause. Turn this back to quarter time speed on the date thing. So, yes, New York City, definitely. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. These are close enough to make passenger trains actually viable. Tracks have to be loops? No, that was just the easiest way for me to do a single train fast for that. So, who's got a supply chain we can easily take care of? See, none of these are really easy. Okay, so we got bread, but we don't have... I guess this to here would be one of the easier ones. Port St. Lucie for the food, the grain or whatever. Depends on how you want to do it. For this, I probably wouldn't end up doing a loop. Actually, I don't know. We'll come back and check on that. This doesn't have anything close enough. So this also wants that, but okay. Where's my oil? The oil is always really hard because it's spread out and the processing is always somewhere else. I don't see... Okay, well this isn't... No, there's no... Oh, the refinery's all the way over here? Yikes. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, ooh, hold on. Hold on. Paterson, whatever. Oil. To the refinery. To the fuel refinery. Into town. That might work, folks. And depending on... Yeah, because oil's high value. Blimps win. There are no blimps. But hello, Kurt. It is, it's late over there. We're trying to play Transport Fever 2 with only trains and have a good time at it. So I have 10 million bucks. It is 1900. Slow trains only. But if I am able to see 177,000 going into here, there, and then having this pop in, if I can get it at the corner exactly right, this will attach and I won't have to have a road. It might not want to play nice with me here. Or I could just suck it up and build a road, but I'm trying to avoid that. So I need to have the fuel go into town in a place where it can be actually used. Okay, see ya. Let's see. I'm not going to say I can't build roads when it's used for doing like station attachments, because I do really need to be able to... Why can't I not... There we go. The shift to do that. Because I need to have a cargo station, and I don't want to have... actually, you know what? The stub end is probably fine for this purpose. In fact, yeah. Oh, you know what? I'll just do this. It's gonna be easiest this way. Okay, what's gonna cost the least amount of cash? Okay, $399, $323. Let's do that. But this one does have to have... Oh, see, if I attach the road here, that's fine, but that's not gonna play nice. Okay, I am going to build, just for the purposes of having something to attach this to, I'm going to build... Nope, not that. I'm going to build road. Just so the station can attach to it. We're not going to use the road. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Cargo trams. Well, I have tried so hard to get mods to work with this. They've never wanted to work right. Also, that could definitely... Oh, no, maybe this is fine. Yeah, let's roll with this. Alright, so we built our first train line for like $1.12 million. That's encouraging. I'm leaving this open in case I would need to connect another one of these things here. But that will need to have a depot attached to it. Because I'll put it on this side in case I need to do something else. Now we need to establish a line. Starting here, going here, going here, and going here. Now this is going to be kind of annoying because the first like 3 trips aren't going to really make any money because they have to have the materials. And then this has to go all the way back, which is going to be slow depending on what kind of train we get. But because we now know the error of our ways, if we want to be patient, see, like the upkeep on this is only $80,000 a year, and it's like 2/3, almost 3/4 the speed of this guy, whose upkeep is over twice as much. This does go faster. 28 miles an hour is slow. Which one of these do I have to have? Okay, so all of this can be done in the tank car. It's one type of car. I guess that's probably going to work fine. And this is the slow one. The Swayze Express. Yep. There you go. Let's see. What can I do for $1 million? I've got 21 capacity. Let's start with that just so we have something that can run. And what city is this going to? Patterson. I'm going to end up renaming this, I'm sure. But, nope, come on. Let's do that. And let's unpause. Because of the layout of this, it is going to have to go all the way out and then back. Is that still on quarter speed dates? Yeah. I don't think it's going to reverse down this, but that's fine. It's got to do what it's got to do. It won't get started for a while. So we'll let that run. I've got 7.7 million bucks. Is there another one that I want to do that is going to be achievable? Also, let's not forget, if this gets upgraded enough, then Birmingham also wants fuel. So that would be relatively simple to get that over there. No, it's fine. We'll just wait. It's okay. We did say over here that the food situation would have been okay for Port St. Lucie here. Let's check and see. See, a cargo terminus would probably make the most sense, unless I wanted this to be a loop. Loop might actually make sense. But Tool to Patterson. Oh, that's a really, really complicated. What do you call it? Yeah, we would have to have for. Oh, that's actually not that bad. I don't know why. I see the wrench, and then I'm like, oh, that's not going to work, because I think that's steel, but it's not. So this would have to go here to here to here to here. And probably shouldn't share track and couldn't for a while. But if there was a better forest over here, that would maybe be great. But Birmingham also wants tools. So does Norfolk up there. And Corona. I've had Corona show up so many times. The only Corona I know is like a suburb of, well, it's not really a suburb of LA, but it's like Southern California. Alright. So we have a lot, we have so much oil here that it's just completely overflowing. So that's 21 going there, which there's nothing here yet. I guess we can follow this. Remember, it's going to have to wait like at least 1 or 2 full cycles for anything to actually get sold to the town. We'll see. If we don't try to do stupid stuff too quickly, then we might actually stand a chance. Oh, we actually got a single oil out of it. Okay. That's something. Our super slow train. I don't think 1 unit of oil is going to be enough to make any fuel, and definitely not that quick. Yeah. So this will just be empty. But it was really fortunate that this specific production chain only used a single type of... Have at least 300 cargo items waiting at a train station in free play. Okay, well that's because we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough for this to go in. Well, that's fine. We have now 300... It's making it faster than it can disappear in some cases. You can kind of help this along by putting in these different buildings, but it's not that big of a deal. This has 8 waiting, and this has no fuel because it doesn't have enough to actually begin production. That's fine. Probably should have put a couple more cars on this, but we'll leave this alone. Now the tool loop though, that's intriguing. It's just unfortunate because this is not really an ideal layout. So this would end up being like near, and then all the way up here, which having this city develop more probably would be good for passenger purposes. And then some of the tools could be unloaded here. So, okay, you know what? All right. I will take the bait, but we have to be careful not to be completely insane about it. Now, if this goes here, can I? Yes, okay. That will be close enough there, but I also need this to go this way. Oh, if it's only 1 train, I can just have it back out, or I can have this on a loop. Loop might actually make more sense, and we could share... Well, we can't share tracks unless there's signals. But then this couldn't go back this... Okay, I am massively overthinking this. We need to first put another... No, we need to first put another track on this, which we can easily do. And then this can just be popped in next to here. And eventually we could also have this station be used for something else, but I don't think that's really going to be that important. This can go all the way back down to... Oh, come on. Attach, please, to the outside of this. This can diverge here and then meet up with that. Let's build our stations first. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. See, that'll work there. That will go there, but it would be better if this was on this side and then came back around. Yeah, I think that's going to be easiest. But that is a sharp turn. That would be a sharp turn. So that's connected there. If we have slow trains, it's really not that big of a deal. But this, oh, look at this mess. Well, we talked about gentle curves, and then we ignored all that. That's fine. Because it's going to be slow coming out of the station anyway, so we can kind of, you know, just ignore that. This coming up to here, I don't want it to merge. I want it to get kind of close to it. 75 full radius. Okay. There we go. That is going to work out real nice. The only problem is it's got a long deadhead to get back, but I guess that's fine. Depending on how I want to put this in here, I could have this track go out and then diverge. Yeah, I think I'm probably overthinking it. Is this how I get, like, super screwed again? Let's actually pause this so I don't hemorrhage any more money before I become profitable. See if this comes out this side there. Then this ends up... Oh, come on. Ends up being kind of viable there. Yeah, okay. And then this here... end up 75 the whole way. Okay. If I just make this go straight here. Yep, there we go. Then this can just be kind of popped in that way. Alright, so now this is all one loop. Let's make a line from the trees to cutting up the trees to somehow turning that into wrenches. All the way up here to drop off there, and then it comes back. Could have been worse. Let's do... I'll call it a loop. And I'm going to have another depot because these don't actually connect, and I don't want to deal with that nonsense. But this isn't that expensive. Let's put this in a place where it can actually complete something without having to go all the way around. Okay, there we go. Now, we have logs, we have lumber, and then we have tools. We have to figure out what's going to fit in each one of these. So this holds tools, this holds lumber, this holds logs, but it does not hold tools. So we need flat cars and box cars. And then, of course, if we want them to go fast, we have to have these, but they are so much more expensive, and we're not going to do that now. So 7, I wish I could remember what the ratio is for all of these things, but we need to have cheapo. We can upgrade later. Yes, yes, yes. Financial revenue, who cares? There we go. Let's do... Okay, well, these are never going to be on the train at the same time, so we only need to have enough to cover one. If I do 2 flat cars, if I can afford it, I really should do more because these are long trips. This will hold 7 tools. And I have 3 flat cars that can hold 7 each. I'm assuming the amount of resources decreases with each stage of whatever. So we'll do 2 box cars, 14 tools, and then this can hold 21 logs, 21 lumber, planks, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, let's not overextend ourselves. I say as I am probably going to complete this exact same nonsense for the second time. But now we can follow this around and see if this is going to be something that is going to be profitable eventually. Alright, so now we've got... Wow, that was quick. Except it thinks I want plastic? I don't know. We have 21 logs. Wow, it is throwing me an error every 2 minutes about the video resolution. It's fine. As long as you guys can still see stuff. Yeah, this thing is kind of struggling. 21 miles an hour. I think it's technically climbing hills. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, that's fine. So obviously this will not have anything ready for us immediately. But things just take time. It would be very funny if... Oh, no, I have one. I have a single plank. And then more to come later, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, see, now it's dropping frames again. I hope that's not my computer flipping out. Because this new one does have a lot more ventilation than the other one does. If it ends up being really bad, let me know. And I will try to see what I can do to fix it. Or maybe it's just the thing telling me it's time to end this charade. But I digress. Now we have to go all the way up here with absolutely nothing. Building a tree from ground tiles takes time. Absolutely it does. So this has 9 fuel. This train that we are not currently following is full of crude oil. So we can actually keep tabs on multiple things at once if we're smart about it. Cool. Now we have 10 refined oil. Now these trains get to race. How many fans? Let's see. I installed 5. And then the radiator for the CPU has 3 by itself. The old computer had 1 fan on the top and 1 fan at the back. And that was it. I'm actually surprised it didn't overheat tragically sooner. But alright, so the fuel's coming in. We're still absolutely hemorrhaging cash. But should turn around once everything can get actually, you know, set up correctly. Okay, so now that train's empty, this train's empty. Earnings are still in the toilet, but I think we're still in the first quarter anyway. Should be fine. And once we're actually making enough tools for this to be, you know, a viable thing, and we can go to these other cities, then I think we're going to be in decent shape. Just going to have to wait. But now I see that the earnings are not 2 commas. It's just 1 in the negative, so that's positive. And now we're taking the second track here. We'll come back to this guy. Now, this still says negative because, you know, we haven't actually brought product to market yet, but this one's positive. And the investment thing won't be a line item if we're not buying any stuff. And the loan interest, I should pay back as much of this loan as I can afford to at any given time, so we're not paying interest on it. That seems like a smarter choice. Now we just have to wait. We get our wood here, and there we go, 21. I wish it would, you know, actually take the other thing seriously for once, but is what it is. So what all is everybody else up to tonight while we're waiting for our slow trains to go slowly around? We should have at least a couple planks here to take to the tool factory. Hopefully. Alright, logs off, planks on, 10. That'll be enough to make a couple. Okay, oh yeah, I gotta learn about bulldozers, don't care. Okay. I don't have any tools here, because there's not enough for them to do anything. So this might be another loop where there's nothing going on, but the next one should be a little more viable. Terrible at resource management games because I never manage the resources. I feel that on a spiritual level. I just tend to sometimes get lucky with things. Alright, yep. We missed the boat on the wrenches because we left like 1 millisecond before that was going to be finished. Meanwhile, this route seems to be kind of profitable. Maybe. Just a touch. You don't pause building on Timberborn. Oh yeah, that's going to get you in trouble real quick. Okay, so that is filling up. We probably should add additional cars on that train, but I would like to be profitable first. Because last time it did not go well. You can set a minimum stop time. You know what? I had not actually considered that. Let's, okay, this is the correct train. Alright, well, that would be under line anyway. That wouldn't be under... Okay, so the tool loop, how do I... No, that's filters. No, no, crap. I clicked the wrong thing. Ah, man. Well, I guess that is fine. That's, yeah, that's the right order. 1, 2, 3, 4. How in the heck do I do this? Low if available. Turn it around after the merge to save the time. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. Just trying to figure out how to get to the, yeah, this is just level. This says nothing about time. It seems there's not enough money. I'm not taking out a loan. I already did that. The squares. Oh, I wish they would have worded that better. Okay. Minimum stop time. 10 seconds. I don't want 10 seconds. Can I edit this to 5? Yes. Okay. Let's do that. This will never have to worry about stopping, but the intermediaries definitely should have some time in between. I wonder if the fuel one would like that too. Probably would. Okay, so that's just picking up. Yeah, okay. 5 seconds. And then this one can get 5 seconds also. Alright, let's see if that helps. I did not know that was an option, so thanks for letting me know about that. So now if we stop for 5 seconds at a minimum, we'll offload all these logs, and then we'll pick up planks, probably fill up everything. Almost like there's a reason train... Look, I'm doing this not because it makes sense. I'm doing this because it doesn't make sense. Stream looks clean. I'm glad, because YouTube keeps yelling at me. Says, you don't have enough bitrate to... no. I know I have enough bitrate. It's mad because I want ultra-low latency on 1440p, and it says they don't support that. But it works, so... Yeah, I don't really like streaming in low or normal latency because it puts too much time between chat and me seeing it. Which, when you have smaller audiences like this, you really, really want to have almost real-time communication with people. Like, if you have like 10,000 people watching your stream, you're never going to see individual comments anyway. But I'm not a VTuber, so... Wait, there's nothing in here? Really? We have... Okay, what? Come on. Okay, so that did nothing. I guess I need to have... I need to restrict, because we have different types of cars, I need to restrict what types of stuff is allowed to load or unload here. Not like it really matters, but that's fine. Vancouver Annex is... Yeah. We just need to load that, and that's it. Then unload anything, obviously. I don't know if that actually matters, but... Popping in to say hi? Well, hello. Still have to take the dogs for a walk, so it's also bye. Don't worry, things are going incredibly slowly and not that well here. But we're trying. 30-second waits? You think that's going to matter? Well, I guess there's no reason not to try it. I hate the idea of this taking, like, a super crazy long time. Because, don't forget, this is at least slightly enjoyable for you to watch. So, if it ends up taking, like, a whole long time, then there's really no point to this. I mostly just wanted to see if it was going to even be possible, reasonably, to do some sort of tiny success with the just trains. But yeah, the game very much does not want you to do this. Now, since we're in 4 times speed, it's not going to take 30 seconds in real time, I hope. Well, I don't really have anything to talk about, unfortunately. We're just waiting. Like, if this was going faster, we'd have more stuff to actually discuss. But, that is unfortunately the way it goes. I know this this loop here doesn't stop, or doesn't hold at the first station, but it is going to hold at the next one. And there are planks and there are tools to go, so I think we might be okay. Hopefully. So what happened earlier, I can't remember if you were here or not, somebody asked me questions about, like, Brightline killing people, and like, no, well, no, we actually have to talk about what's actually happening here. But things have calmed down substantially. Alright, so we're still waiting. If it leaves, yep, there we go, that is 4 times speed. But now we have full capacity of the planks, and pretty soon they'll get over there with the tools, and we should hopefully, I don't know why it still shows plastic, we should be able to get the tools in there. Money isn't, yeah, money is still going down. It's because this this tool line isn't fully working yet. If we can ever manage to get tools up there to the city, then we'll be in good shape. But see, there we go. 10 tools, 11, 12. But because we're waiting, almost got to 14. This should give us a decent chunk of change getting the stuff all the way up to the town. This line actually says it's enormously profitable. And if it had more than 7 fuel, it would have turned one of those other cars into it, but birds aren't real. Yeah, they were all replaced with government drones. You got that right. Let's see. Yeah, bird migration is actually them just flying back to the charging station, and so they can download all the, or no, not even download, because this was from the 80s, right? That's the conspiracy theory, is that it was Ronald Reagan that replaced him with drones. So that would all be VHS tapes. or they're what? What were those things? Super 8's a hotel chain, but whatever the 8mm reel tape was, that's actually what's happening here. Alright, so we're about to drop off some tools. We'll see how much money... Oh, look at that. Okay. And yes, the account is still negative, but... Yeah, we need more oil cars, but I am out of cash, and I do not want to be paying... There you go, $69,996 in loan interest. We really can't afford to have any more loan interest, because the railroad... just now is becoming profitable because we're delivering tools. We're going to have to wait a little bit. And the loan interest... Now, we're selling a lot of tickets, quote-unquote, but the loan interest is still way more of our operating expense than it needs to be. I can't take out any more cash. Or else we're going to be in bad shape like we were before. But if we have here... Yeah, we have 11 fuel. If this actually works correctly, we should have... Okay, there was more than... Why did it not... So that's weird. Like, I don't really understand how it decides what needs to go in what car. Because we very clearly have enough actual fuel, finished product fuel, to almost fill 2 cars here. So if while this is stopped it doesn't do that, then I'm going to call shenanigans on this. Okay, it allocated 2 cars for that, and if it had 15 it probably would have done all 3. No, but it's going to leave with 14, and that's going to get us a pretty decent chunk of change. I just need the earnings to be positive. Yeah, the interest is, yeah, it's a number. Okay, so this is a short trip to get to the actual city. And, okay, that's decent. Not perfect, but decent. Yeah, there's just so much working against the railroad here because we have all these vehicles we're paying maintenance on, and the profit isn't eclipsing that. 2-to-1 ratio for crude oil to oil and wood. Okay, well, I didn't know that. That is good information to have. I think, well, knowing that, it probably is worth adding another tanker, and then I don't remember what the composition of this other train is. Let's see. 3 flat cars and 2 box cars. Well, if that's the case, then it probably is worth adding another flat car. But I don't want to take on more debt. That's been the theme song this whole time. Math is hard. Math is very hard. And I can't help but think maybe I should have spent the extra money on the faster locomotives. But I was trying to lower my expenses. Like a good capitalist. Okay, well, we actually have 12, 13, so it can't fill this anyway. So I guess the boxcar amount's fine. Enjoying a relaxing evening, I see. Good to see you. Alright, how are we looking here? Okay, so it's full of oil, and it's not going to take any more, but there was more to take. Okay. See, I don't want more interest, but we need to make more money per trip, or this is not going to work. Okay, that was positive. Briefly. Because don't forget, every vehicle we add, we have to pay maintenance on. And, wait, why is this different month to month? Oh, okay, the way they did this is weird. I would not have done it that way. Because I see these numbers and I think, oh, October to December, which in my mind's eye is 2 months. But it's counting the month of October, the month of November, and the month of December here. Because it has the year suffix on it. Alright, well, the earnings, okay, they were close. They're close to breaking even. It's just the number of tickets is not consistent. Not quite. I think it can do it. But it's not consistent enough because the trains take so long to get places that it really, if you're going to have the slow train, it's got to have a huge capacity. I don't think we're there yet. Now, if I'm going to add capacity, this is going to be the time to do it before it starts another loop. I'm going to do it. I think I can make this work. I just have to add a single tank car, $200,000. Okay, well that's gonna help us out. This train, we decided it needs a 2-to-1, so the flat car with the side stakes will take 28 logs to get turned into 14 planks, and then the 14 planks get turned into tools, I think. Greetings. See, it's just, there's so much, and I don't have enough cash to do this one anyway, so we will need to, I guess just do one of these at a time. Maybe, but no. It's really hard. Really hard to figure out what's going to make sense because obviously it's not going to be perfect. But I feel like I need to add capacity for the finished product no matter what. Okay. That will stay there. I just have to have that set up, and that'll cost me $407,000. Okay. Now the train is still going to be super slow, and it's going to be even slower, mind you, because I've added weight. But now we can at least, hopefully, have a fighting chance of making more money per trip and then eventually turning profitable. Click on the industry, it'll show the ratio. It can't possibly be that easy. Oh! Okay, yeah. 2 to 1. 1 to 1. Okay, good. That makes sense. 2 to 1. 1 to 1. Alright. That works. Put a loop in between tools and logs. Put the train in that loop for a whole just moving product around, which makes not as much, but it makes money once tools does this. Huh? I'm going to have to read this like 5 times. Trying to complete the whole production chain with a single train is... We can't afford to have multiple trains. Unless what you're trying to say is just have here to here, here to here to here as a loop, and then this as like a shuttle. That would be a 3rd train, which would cost us another $4 or $5 million. Well, I would like to see how this pans out, at least for a little bit, with the larger capacity. Because at the end of the day, borrowing money is expensive. And if I don't want to have to restart again, which at that point I would just end stream and do this off stream and figure out if I can actually handle it, not waste anybody else's time. But the reason we had to restart was because I was at like $28 million in debt, and it was costing me $280,000 a quarter to maintain it, and that was more than I was making with the trains. But that would that would, I think, be a worthwhile pursuit. It just gets to be complicated when you have multiple trains coming in here. But if I did that, I could get rid of this track, which I don't think would actually give me any money back. But it would take away the expense of maintaining it. Used vehicle market in the game implies the existence of additional parties, which would then make this competitive. Like, oh, Transport Tycoon Deluxe. Man, that's a throwback. Forget the city until the tool factory has a significant plank buildup. Well, it's not going to produce if it doesn't have anywhere for it to go. Up to a certain point. I don't think. Alright, so what you're saying is you want me to just completely skip the... Oh, well, I don't even have the cash for this yet. Yeah, $200-some thousand just to do that. Well, if we want to micromanage, we could try that, but I need to have a cheap enough... See, now I don't have money either. And now I'm just chasing the endless nonsense here. So if I did that, I could give it a shot, what you're trying to get me to do here. Tool loop, where is the train? Okay, the train is on its way to deliver tools. We will let it finish that. Oh, it just finished delivering tools. Okay. So if I take that away, then it just does that loop. It will just go over and over and over and over again. And then when it gets back to here, I hate the way it names stations. We just put that back in. Okay, all right. We will try it. Just keep in mind it's very slow. because we have very slow, crappy trains. Sell the boxcars. No, well, then I have to buy them back. I'm going to need them. Like, this isn't going to just infinitely store stuff. It's going to start decaying because I don't have enough storage for it. Like, keep in mind, buying these things back is really expensive. Like, the $200,000 each, if I sell the ones I already have, then I'm only going to get... Okay, well, this one I just bought, but... Yeah, it's like 70% of the value, which, hey, cool, that's money, but if I have to buy it again anyway, there's no point. Unless I'm planning on doing this for, like, multiple years, which is not the case. Could store them at depot, you are correct, but then the train has to, you know, do its thing. And then you lose time. Alright, so now we got 28 here. Which will then turn into 14, but it already has 12. That can go there, and this already has 10. Yeah, 28. I don't know why the plastic is still in here. We're not doing anything with plastic. There's no plastic anywhere close to this. We're not even touching oil at all. Alright. How many planks am I going to get? Okay, and it's only taking 14 because it thinks I need to have space for... Okay. It still had 7 planks. What gives? I have plastic disallowed at all of these. Why did that reset? That is absolutely not what that should be doing. Okay, let's stop that. Yeah, load. It's only loading that if I disconnect that. Like, I wish it was just... I wish it was simpler. Automatic based on what it is. Okay, so this wants to load tools. It wants to unload everything else, but I only need it to unload that. It really should not be this complicated. And yet the plastic is still there. Make it make sense. We got 10 there. So now this has no tools because it can't make them because it has nowhere to go, but it does have planks. And I guess it's not going to produce them until it has somewhere for it to go. But if we can... I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced you're correct. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't make complete sense to me yet. And yet we're still hemorrhaging cash. Why would it consume the wood but not make tools? How does that make sense? And we're also not making any money doing this. So what's on here now? Okay, we only took 14, but there's still 12 there. What? Thank you, autosave. Lemon bars. Kind of does look like that. And it's still... Why is it only filling half of the flat cars with planks when there's clearly stuff left over? That I don't understand. Yeah, so the earnings are in the negative again. $90,000 a quarter on loan interest. Okay, so now it's completely empty. And it has to wait because I told it to wait. See, now the tickets is a lot lower and the expenses are the same. And that's about the time we changed over to do this. So, like, it's not making any more money. And we're spending more money on loan interest. Set loading to full any, but then it's... Okay, alright. I don't know, sometimes this game makes me really mad because it doesn't feel like anything makes sense. Wait, what? Sure, why not? Just completely throw all this in the trash. Okay, that's already set that way. I don't know why the plastic is here. How many times have I said that? So you say it's going to store 100 in production, but it's been at 14 forever. Or is that just because of how slow this is? I don't know. I'm not used to playing this far back in the game with super, super slow stuff. I usually end up like 2050 with the high-speed rail everywhere. Alright. 14. It still only goes to 14, but there's more stuff there. There's so much more left here. Yeah, there's almost another car worth. The button next to it. Okay, whoever designed the interface for this game, I want to talk to him because it doesn't make any sense. Like what the heck? Like what kind of iconography is this? Load full load any? Sure. I guess. If that's the best behavior, why is that not the default? Why do I have to go in here and mess with this? Well, that's the fuel anyway. I guess we'll see if that helps. This obviously is empty because there's nothing in there. Okay, so that's full. We already knew that was going to be full. We already know that's going to be full, but I'm interested to see what happens when we get to these other things here. There's only one there? See, this has nothing stored. It hasn't made anything. I don't think we've accomplished anything here. This just keeps going down every time something comes in there. Okay. Alright, that's actually utilizing everything. That's good. Alright, so if I start there... there. Okay, well, we will see if this does anything. I'm interested to see, because this still says 14. It said 14 this whole time. And it says it has nothing. Yeah, this game's logic makes my brain explode. if this is actually the right way to do it. Don't need to complete the whole production chain. But then how's it going to make anything? And it doesn't need to produce since you aren't delivering the tools. And what's the point of this? What have we just spent like half an hour doing? if it didn't matter the whole time. Okay, now where's my train? Oh, it's waiting. Okay. I just can't click on it. I'm going to have to wait. Or I'd move the camera around. Okay. There it goes. It has 24 planks. And this is waiting 25. Okay. Well, at least it's full. Logistics isn't magic, it's black magic. It's voodoo. Wish I could have both of these open at once so I don't have to keep switching. Okay. Well, since we're waiting here, it probably should have some tools available before it has to leave. One would think. Okay, there's one. There's two. Okay, maybe we will get somewhere. This really does need to be more than one train, though. Yeah, passengers, definitely. Because once this starts growing, they're going to have demands to go other places. That's I don't remember how long you've been in here, but I tried to get into passengers too early last time, and I think that's what killed what we were trying to do. Well, that's positive. Currently. Probably not for long, but that's something. Okay, so this has... Okay, cool. 17 tools. Now, is it going to have anything else? No, because we're going to have to wait. If you press the pin, you can... Oh, okay. Well, I don't want the tool factory pinned. I want the train pinned. Aha! Okay, let's just leave those up forever. I guess it's going to give me the sound too, huh? Well, let's see. If I put in blocks here, I could have multiple trains running this. But then I'd have to buy the trains. I don't think that's worth doing yet. I probably could have made this on one track with the signals and all that, but I'd rather not mess with it. So we should get a pretty nice chunk of change for 17 tools. That negative 111 should go up, hopefully. There we go. So that's a net almost 200 on that. Every time that loop goes, if it's 17 tools. Alright. There's worse ways to try and make money. Yeah, see, now that's positive. But we did just start this quarter here. Railroad in general has been positive for a little bit. But there's so much maintenance that has to get done. And then, of course, the loan interest. Loan interest, by the way, more than the maintenance on the tracks. I guess we will just have to wait and see. Well, this is looking better, at least. Now, the y-axis on this is incredibly skewed, so this looks a lot better than it actually is. But the value of the company going down like this is dangerous. That's bad news. Okay, well... At least these are operating slightly better. The amount of the tickets just varies so much, it's almost impossible to have any sort of prediction on this. Like, I want so badly to just make the trains faster. But I know that's not actually going to solve anything. It's just kicking the can a little bit further down the road at a higher rate of speed. Because now this September, this quarter is going to end, and it's going to be just massively negative. Just because the timing was slightly wrong. Unless this unloads right now. Oh, there we go. So that was positive. Tickets up from the last month, but not quite. Or the month, a quarter, whatever it is. And still a net negative. Tremendously. I wonder if I could cut the waiting time down. If that would help a little bit. Probably not. Overall. They're waiting so long. Wait. Why is it waiting at this one? It shouldn't be waiting at this one. It should not be waiting at the final destination. Okay, this... yeah, this absolutely should not be waiting here. Minimum stop time 0 seconds, maximum stop time. Well, it takes time to unload. Okay, well this... That can go to load if available. I know that for sure. And that, same story. Okay, 1 tool. 2 tool. Yeah, this just needs more planks. Hello. Yeah, we've been kind of struggling with this one. Not gonna lie, it's not gone super great. But hopefully something gets better. It's just a monumental task the game really does not want you to do. But it's possible because there's an achievement for it. That I may or may not get because I technically have mods installed. I don't know, but it is what it is. Clearly, trains are like aviation. The best way to make a small fortune is to start with a big one. Yep, sounds about right. Unless you're vertically integrated, then it's infinite profit. I do think we need to have a third train that just takes the tools to the town and back. Because this is just taking so long. It's honestly kind of unbelievable how long it takes. Alright, so reducing the stop time. Okay. Let's go instead to 10 seconds on both of these. And then, not that one, here as well. It's probably not going to help profitability that much, but it's pretty bad. Things are not looking fantastic. No, I don't need any of it. No max stop time? I didn't set this, it was just there. So you want me to just do that? Want to just sit there forever? You think 10 seconds is not enough? I don't know. Okay, well, I can't exactly buy anything else. Change the max. Oh, God. All right. There's too many options. There's too many ways to screw this up. Change the max stop time to what, though? Well, it's already at 10. Let's see what happens here. Actually, I'll say 30. Well, this one did fine with 30 seconds for the 28. How much, Okay, there's 5, so that got left there. I feel like this level of granular control is for either masochists or people who have, like, IQs 10 times higher than mine. Okay, so we're still massively, incredibly negative. If this is another restart, then I'm done. I'm not going to do this again. Well, I want to give it a little bit of time. I've already... Jeez, it's been like 3 hours of this. I did not think this was going to be this hard. Your IQ... If your IQ is 7, then mine is like negative 400. So these trains are just way too slow. Only 7 tools coming out. Before we messed with all this, it was doing more than that. Let's give these guys one more loop, and if this doesn't work, then we're just done. I can't trap you guys in here any longer than that. Now, I wanted to get better at this because, you know, the third one's coming out at some point, and I want to get in on that. See if I can, you know, not enter a game like 5 years late for once. But this is clearly not going well. You know, for as much as I love the Choo Choo mod in Timberborn, I never really got it to work very well. I guess we'll just see what happens. Strasnoster, welcome, and thanks for the gift membership. Looks like Dr. Helfenstein's got it. I don't think they are in chat, but always appreciate it. Hope you're having a good night. Unlike these train drivers here, they're just absolute misery for these folks. Alright, so that is offloading. Thank you, autosave. Am I going to have enough fuel to actually make a profit on this? Okay, we got 8. That's not very good. I appreciate it. I don't want to, like, I don't want to cop out and start in, like, 1950 so I can have the faster diesel trains, but man, these are so slow. And I can't make the game go any faster. I feel like if I was going to actually do this, I might as well try to do a video on it, where I can just time-lapse or skip whatever. instead of, you know, holding people hostage in a 3-hour live stream where nothing gets accomplished. Alright, is this going to get more than 14 planks? Yes, okay. Well, that's progress at the very least. It just seems like you're rolling the dice so much with what actually gets counted in what quarter, and your financials just always look terrible. I feel like if it's train only, then it's fair to start around the 50s. I almost started in the 1850s. And I thought better of that. Like, yeah, okay, no, the trains are going to be awful for like at least another 50, 60 years if I started in the 1850s. I just feel bad when, like, people show up to a stream and then nothing happens. And we're just waiting, which is what most of this is. I feel like people's time is valuable, right? And there's any number of things you could be doing. But you chose to be here. And because you chose to be here, I have an obligation to make it worth your while. But there is only so much I can do in terms of, you know, trying to get the game to go faster. No, hanging out's fun too. I'm not saying that's not worth doing, but you know, it is a gaming channel. It's supposed to be. Even if the rail has been losing money, it's still a boon to the overall economy. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Unfortunately, this gameplay result is not dependent on how well the towns do. It's dependent on how well my assets and my infrastructure do. Well, at least, you know, we got 14 fuel getting dropped off, and then we have 8 tools about to be dropped off. So maybe, if that happens before the end of September 1904, then we'll have a profitable quarter. Anything odd happened to me lately? 90% of my time that is not sleeping is either playing with beavers or trying to do live stream stuff. So, you've seen it. You've seen most of the interesting stuff that's happened, because I've made videos on it. Okay, so we actually had a $19,671 surplus on the railroad, but still an overall loss because of the loan interest. So, can we call this a success? No, objectively. But, you know, it is what it is. Getting a faster train would just make us go into debt faster. We'd see numbers go up over here on the right side quicker, but yeah. Wouldn't really solve much of a problem. How much debt can you get to? I think I have borrowed in excess of 100 million before. In other playthroughs, obviously, but I just, at that point, the interest is so crushingly huge that it is just almost impossible to make any progress. Like, obviously, if you're, you know, investing in transport that works and is all interconnected instead of just, I want to only have trains, then you're going to have a lot easier of a time doing this. But, see, like, I feel like if it was done correctly, done well enough, you could manage to just take out an absolutely ridiculous quantity of debt and get everything logistically set up correctly and just let it run, like, overnight and go to bed, and then it might make money by the time you wake up. Yeah, if I have to commit math for this to work, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to work. Like, clearly, the supply chain is working. It's just not fast enough for it to be that viable of a thing. So now, yeah, just dropped off fuel. And because of the timing of this, this is going to be another negative quarter. Just because stuff takes so long to get in here. Planks are so slow, and they take so long to get made because they don't have enough stock. Need longer stops at the tool pickup. I guess, maybe. I don't know. I think at this point it's basically impossible for me to, like, do what I wanted to do originally anyway. So I'm just kind of delaying the inevitable. But if I stop a minimum of 30 seconds, maybe they can at least, you know, make the tools. Alright, so I guess we will see if stopping here for 30 seconds actually allows us to get more tools put out here. Because there were some ready to go already. Alright, it is so hot in this room, and I made the mistake of owning an office chair made of fake leather, so my back is very sweaty and this is very uncomfortable. But I feel like this should work. If everything is tweaked exactly correct. Okay, so now it's, says full load any, okay. I will increase, at that stop, I will increase the wait time. Oh, they both arrived at the same time. How about that? Wow, positive earnings, but it's not actually positive. It's just lucky timing there. So the really encouraging number... Okay, that said negative 16. It felt a lot better than negative 74. But recommend a bamboo sheet. Well, I want to replace this chair anyway. It's not really that comfortable. But now, see, the problem is... Any chair I buy can be a tax-deductible business asset. And I want to get a nice one. But then I have to pay for it. I don't know. There's some places you can get, like, you know, when all those startups go bankrupt and they sell off their Herman Millers to, like, a liquidator. You can get some of that stuff relatively cheaply if you know where to go. Don't know why it's not using the full car. See, yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't understand why it won't use the full things. Yeah. The negative is quite poor. It's really bad. But, that's the way it goes. Yeah, decent part. I mean, the Herman Miller, like the Aeron, is like the gold standard of office chairs for so many different industries. And by industries, I mean different types of offices. But if you buy something nice once, then it only sucks once because you have to spend the money for it. But if you just keep buying the cheapo chairs from Staples every couple of years, it's like, all right, well then every couple of years you buy a objectively not that good chair, and then you just have to keep replacing it. Yeah, I don't know why it won't full load with the fuel. It's like I don't have that set that differently. Do not think. Oh, hello. 10 gift memberships courtesy of a Devilish Fun. As always, thank you very much for all of your support. For a very long time. I don't even know how to pronounce that because there's no vowels. THRDDR. Damkara, Marina, Amy R, Helsar, Oliver Thor Sorensen, Dominic, AJ Mash, Sneaky Turtle. Watch out for that one. And then Wayne E. Welcome to the boosters. Welcome back to probably about half of you. I think you've been on the list before. And I am almost certain none of you are watching this, but if you are, thanks for being here. Yes, the Boots theory of economic, whatever the rest of the phrase is. Buy once, cry once, etc. The $10 boots leaked and the cardboard wore out. etc. The $50 boots lasted 10 years. Buy oh sheesh. All right, well now I guess I have to go buy a bamboo sheet because now you're paying for it. Where the heck do you buy one of those? Besides Amazon. Let's see. Well, these aren't that bad, price-wise. Oh, hey, Marina. 28 crude oil will make 14 oil, which makes 14 fuel each. Okay, well, that makes sense then. So what you're saying is I need another tank car. Alright. Well, I'll tell you what. I will shop around, and I will get myself some bamboo sheets. And I'll have to let you know how that goes. You might have to remind me, because I'm very forgetful. But, that's the way that goes. Somebody asked me to check out Infraspace last stream as well. And I did remember that I had to do that, but I did not do that. So now I guess I have to do that also. Yeah, we're since you just joined, Marina, we're in the infinite hell loop of unprofitable railroad operation, trying to brute force Transport Fever 2 in train-only mode. 2 more tank cars. So now the problem, if I build additional tank cars, is I'm already $2 million in debt. That means I am going to have to saddle myself with a minimum of an additional $3 million in loans, which is going to increase my loan interest to $120,000 a quarter. And I'm not going to get an additional $30,000 a quarter in profit from that. Should have separated the crude oil line from the other one. I guess. But then I would have had to have additional trains. It's like, keep in mind, every time I have to add an additional train, that's like another $1 million. Which, I guess at the beginning of the game would have been a lot easier to do. Like, the numbers are inconsistent, but they're not that inconsistent. But it's still incredibly negative. Even so, we still have not had, in the past, I guess, year of this, have not had a total profit or loss that was less than the loan interest. Well, if I just go ahead and say, all right, let's go 15 million bucks, and then I just add additional cars to this, I don't know that that's actually going to solve any problems versus just having another train line. So, like, you'd want this to go here to here to here, and then just back and forth on this go here, or here to here, and then this goes here. It's like, there's not really a great way to do this objectively. So what would probably make more sense... Keep spinning till you make money. Oh yeah, that's a flawless strategy right there. Let's... Like, if I add another track here, and then just reconnect... So we have this entire thing as a separate loop. Because now I have the cache. And then this turns into a stub end platform to go up to town to drop the tools off. It's like if that goes there, and then that goes... That's not going to work. I'm going to have to disconnect that. It's like that gets connected there. Then, this is just point to point. And this is always its own deal. Well, then I'm not going to need this, because this is just a loop. And I know I don't get any money back for deleting this, but it is less maintenance, which will allow us to hopefully not be as completely broke. So now, this has to get removed. So this 1, 2, 3, this changes to platform 2, and now that is a nice loop. So we will instead call this tool production loop, which then means the train that's on it does not need to have boxcars, which means we can put those in the which means we can put those in the depot, the boxcars, because this is what actually stores the tools. Or I just how do I put this in the depot without selling it? I have to put the whole train in the depot. That's how that works. Okay, so that gets sent to the depot. I have to wait for it to get to the depot. And then I think I can just drag stuff around. Why is this going... Oh, it's going it's going that way because that's where that thing is. Okay. See, that is not technically connect out. You know what? I don't want to deal with it. That's shipyard. Why is it in ship mode? That, since that's point to point, can just be popped in right there. That's fine. Okay. Get that hooked up here. Now this... Oh, but it's not going to be the same depot. Oh, this is absolutely disastrous. This has not gone well. Alright. Well, I mean, I guess since it's turned around that way, it has to go back to the depot anyway. Alright. Now I have... let's make the line first. I know this is probably actually painful for you guys to watch that actually know how to play this game. That is fine. We'll call this Patterson Tool Shuttle. Now, since this is just going back and forth with one type of car, it doesn't have to be super fast. We just do the slow one here. Or, because I have money... Okay, 3 times the cost, not even twice the speed. 5 times the cost, over twice the speed. But I don't think that's... Luckily, I don't know how to play the game. That makes 2 of us. You know, I'm gonna have to do the 47-mile-an-hour one. That plus boxcar, but it has 12 capacity and it can go 50 miles an hour, is probably going to be better than the alternative. Let's tool shuttle. This one, Vancouver. It's not Vancouver. Oh, Vancouver's all the way down here. Let's hit pause so I can think here. Okay, the train's in the depot. Now we can edit the train. I do not need boxcars. We'll just sell those. I'll just take the L on that, and I get $271,000 back for what cost me 600 and something. 2 boxcars? Oh, because it's too late. I already had just 1, but it has a capacity of 12, so it's technically 2. All right, so now this... The slower train that's just doing the loop has a total capacity of 28, which will go down to 14, and then that other one will take 12. You know what? We'll just let this be what it's going to be for now. Let that do that. And then that is going to... It's not going to solve this problem, but it's going to make it slightly less terrible. I could have put this on the inside. That would... Okay, whatever. And then this... See, now the problem is if I have this just go here to here, that's an incredibly wasteful train. That's very, very stupid. Let's unpin these. I don't need to look at this every time anymore. So honestly, I probably might not be a popular thing, but I feel like I should just make this faster. Okay, so I only get 62,000 back for that? Okay. Well, if the tank cars... What's the maximum speed on these? Since we're playing with fire, 31 miles an hour. This one goes 50, but it is over twice as much. But it also carries 12. Well, who cares? We already have enormous, crippling debt. This can only go 50 miles per hour, so we don't need a train that can go faster than that. 260 Mogul it is. So that will be, and now I have to have more cash, but that'll be a total capacity of 24. The one that we just got rid of was 28. So if we go to 48, it's going to cost us $4 million bucks, but it'll go almost twice as fast. So this is how people get into trouble. This is exactly how people get into trouble. All right. Let's see. This is okay. I guess I have to redo this. That's fine. Okay. Let's roll with that. Massive capital expenditures, but it's been upgraded in place. I guess I could have just kept clicking on that. The timer remains the same, so this will wait a little bit. But now it's leaving with 14, which is exactly what it had before. So minimal improvement there. But it's faster. And this is far enough away from the rest of it that the higher speed actually makes sense. It's already going faster than the other train was going to be able to go. And then the way back is entirely with no stops. Which, I guess, if we had multiple cities involved, it could carry something else on the way back, but is what it is. And then that one's rocketing by with a single car. Since we know how to pen things now, that's train 3. Ah, yes, the plastics. But it doesn't have any tools, so I guess that's why it shows that. But this guy can spend most of its time at 47 miles per hour all the way back instead of, 28, which is, again, not quite twice, but getting there. But now the bigger problem is we've increased our debt load substantially, and we're not profitable yet. Mosquitoes ate your foot, huh? Unfortunate. Okay, so this one's not okay. We've got to examine what's going on with this. Load if available. Is nothing available? Alright. I swear to God, when I play this, not on stream, I don't have any problems with this. As soon as I try to do it with people, it just turns into a mess. Alright, so I've got 7. Now, it shouldn't matter what track the train comes on because it can share cargo from everything. Right? Oh, wait, this doesn't need to stop here. This doesn't need to stay here. Tool production loop. Line manager. Yeah, this does not need to have a minimum stop time because it's only dropping off. It's not picking anything up. Departure configuration, load if available. It's not loading anything, so that can go away. Alright, can I get all of these on one side of the screen? If I believe in the heart of the cards. I've never even played Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, so now we can monitor all of our failure at once. And figure out why in the heck the tool shuttle is not shuttling any tools. Alright, so now our sad little single boxcar train is here. Okay, it's actually loading them now. Good. It took 12, and there are none left. Alright. Yes, yes, yes. So we know this is now working. As terrible as it is. So we should have, ideally, this thing completely full of crude oil. There it goes. 48. It will take much more than that, but that's what we've got. Full of logs on this end. Still with the incredibly slow train, but that's fine. We might actually kind of cheaply be able to put a second slow train in if I put in some signals for block detection. That might be the next thing we end up having to do. But I'll have to take out more loans for that. Okay, so the tools have been dropped off. The oil is in process. The tool production loop is tool production looping. If I had a second train, I could eliminate the delays because it wouldn't matter, since there's another train coming theoretically in half the time. Okay, the problem with the fuel line is the refinery and the town are so close, it's almost not worth having a second train for that. Plus, I'd have to have another track and another platform. Or block detection signals, which, scary. But I do see positive earnings. I don't know if that's a mirage or not. But this, wow, this has gone up a lot. The tickets-wise. But this is still super negative. Another tool production train makes sense. Okay. So, now we have to do signals. I love signals, said no one. So we'll just do before and after stations here. So that something can sit there. Oh, this has to be that loop. Okay. Long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and by that I mean 2.5 years ago, I played a game on stream called Sweet Transit that probably only Devilish Fun will remember. Maybe one or two other people in chat. But I got my butt handed to me with signals in that game, and that was a time. We'll just say that. Borrow more money. Why not? All of our problems can be solved by just infinitely going into debt. 4 more flat cars, 28 capacity. Set that thing into motion on the tool production loop. I did not even bother to check spacing, but this actually would work fine. Tool shuttle train, wait for a full load for 1 minute. Well, if it's already completely full when it gets there, it doesn't really matter. But let's see here. Full load. Any? Actually, no minimum, but if it says full load any, then it'll wait till it's full in maximum of 3 minutes. Okay, so now this train 4. There we go. Now we got both of these things. And that one's coming around the backside, so you know this is actually probably about the best thing we could have done, given circumstances. Man, this is relentless. Like, every, 30 seconds, it's just complaining about video resolution in my console over here. Well, next stream I will know to do that. But I'm not restarting this one. So we got our planks coming in there. Tool shuttle will be able to, hopefully, get full on 12, and then maybe I can add another boxcar to it, but seems like for now that is fine. Now, if we were real nasty, I could have 3 trains, because we have enough block signals for that. Let's see how full this one gets. If it fills up immediately, then yeah, we need another. But it only has 2. Now it has 3. But I did say it would be forced to wait for a full load, so that's fine. Whoa, the number went up. But it's still negative 1.18 because investments are counted on the balance sheet. Yeah, number going up is not what I expected to see. Let's do the dang thing. Let's buy another train. Ah, okay, this wasn't quite enough money. Well, if the number goes up again, then we might be in business. It's going to be really funny if after 3.5 hours it just now starts working. No one's going to watch this VOD. No one's going to watch it. but we'll be able to come back in the next stream. Well, having another train for fuel is still going to be really hard to figure out logistically without building another entire track, the way this is set up. It starts getting easier once you have more towns to take stuff to, because then you can have, like, terminals with a whole bunch of storage. But, I think for now this is probably about as good as we can do. As soon as this gets to 1.3 mil, I'm going to buy this other train. We might have cracked the code. It went up again! And it's going to continue going up. Hopefully. Oh, no, it went down. It happens. Okay, it's going down again. Now it's up again, but not quite up enough. I think we might have cracked the code. Maybe. Well, that one was absolutely flying around. There we go. There we go. Alright, tool production loop, go. So now this just has to wait for this other train to go past it, I guess. And then it'll wait. So that's not going to be spaced incredibly well, but it is working. And this... I didn't know they had chainsaws in 1906. Interesting. But we're almost there. So, yes, because of the investments in purchasing stuff, this is still technically negative, but it's looking better and better. I think I have an idea what it might have been originally for, and that is cursed. Keep spending until you make money. Yep, there you go. Alright, so we know this is fine. That can go away, that can go away. Yeah, the fuel... See, the problem with the fuel is the way this is set up. I would have to have this entirely reconfigured, because not only would I have to move this track somewhere else, I'd have to move this track to another platform. Or just out in front of it, because I'd have to have two platforms here, the way this is configured. Unless I had occupancy signals. Oh, I have negative money, so I can't even build that. Okay, well, if I have a signal here where this can't enter the station until that other train leaves, and this one can't enter the station until the other train leaves. Oh, now I have $392. Okay. Then maybe we will be okay. So, I'm just going to take these all off. The fuel train is going to have to, I think, let's take, it's going to get dropped off here, but then I will take this off of everything except Patterson Annex to Patterson Halt. And that train can stay up there. Do it at the oil refinery. Well, see now. So now I've done it. Oh, that costs me money. $25. All right. These guys can just wait, right? Okay. Okay, so now this guy, if this goes from Patterson to Patterson South, I know I can just take that. We'll call that crude oil supply. Oh, nope. Because this is where this is going to have to... You can do two fuel stations. Yeah, cry about it. This is going to have to go from here to here to here. Which honestly doesn't seem like it's saving that much because... okay. Alright, well... that will go there, which means it only goes between that. So we'll do... I guess with those 4 tanks is fine. But since this is only one thing, I guess I could do the cheaper, crappier train. Maybe. Nope, time for more debt. Make it work until you can't anymore. Let's go to 25 million. Why not? Why not? Alright, new line. Here to here. That's it. Now this one actually needs to be named crude oil supply. And then this one needs to be named fuel refinery. Okay. So now this has to get a train. Because it doesn't really matter since it's such a short distance. I'll just get the cheaper one, but what is the maximum speed of this? 31 miles an hour. Okay, cool. So that's 28 capacity, and it's so much shorter. I will go to 42. 49. Sure, why not? Long train. Is it stupid? Probably. Is it going to work? Maybe. Why stop there? 50 mil? No. No. Why would I do that? So this train's going to get here first, and then this one's going to have to stop. But hopefully that doesn't end up happening concurrently a whole lot. Oh, that's a really quick stop. Trains don't stop that fast. Alright, so nothing here. There we go. Check whether you can add a boxcar to the tools. Oh, look at all these. Look at all these tools. Oh, yes. We absolutely can. Where is my tool shuttle? Let's get in on this. Let's edit this train. One more boxcar. Honestly, I'll add 2. 2 more. Because you know that's... If it can actually leave, then it can make more. See how much this loads up. Obviously, this is backstock from forever, so it's going to fill up, but there's still plenty left. So now I guess the question is going to be, does this already have... It already has 26. It's just going to keep making more. I suspect it probably won't be 36 the entire time, but now that it's actually sending more, it's probably going to make... Yeah, it's definitely going to be past that. Because these numbers are just going to be able to keep going up. Okay. So, we've spent a lot of money. And now, this is obviously, you know, not profitable because we spent more than we brought in. But I think, first of all, I can repay some of the loan. So I don't have quite as much going out. Just keep on paying that down. We should be profitable sometime soon. Yeah, see, that's at 37. Good. This is on the way back. That's the other train. This one is going to take quite a while to get back here. So it's already going to have way more than 36 by the time it gets back. Town requires 75. So that's probably okay for now. And since we have this here, and it's a double-ended station, I could have another line go to Birmingham all the way over here, or Corona all the way over there with a additional train. That's an idea. So this is obviously full, and this already has 14. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to serve multiple cities. And Birmingham also will take fuel, which is part of the reason why I kind of wanted to have another station here. But I could also just build another station on this side and connect it directly to there. with something else, but for now I think this is probably fine. So Birmingham taking tools probably should be the next thing, but I do want to make sure this is positive first. And at some point I am going to have to, you know, end stream so I can put tomorrow's video up with all the new beard booster names. But I'm glad this manages to kind of work. Maybe. Well, we have profit coming in, so pay back some of the loan. Edit the current station. Which station? Because like this one right here, I know I can add platforms to it, but I can't add platforms on this side. Unless I have, like, spacers or something. So I can't... I know I can add, like, a track here, but that's going to look really weird. And I don't have enough space platform-wise either. For some reason, it only still has 14 planks. Despite there being... Click. No? Okay. So maybe that was all the planks they had. Okay, I guess it was. Because this has 14 planks on it. But why is it always just 14? Because there's nothing else in here. Okay, well, it's fine. I do think tools going to Birmingham would be a smart choice because then we can have passenger trains going between both. If they start growing. Because they're going... Are they going to Patterson? No. Nobody is. Okay. Depot to deposit tools and fuel. Well, it's not overflowing the capacity of the station, so we don't need that yet. Yeah. This, I think... has a default capacity, yeah, 160. If it gets more than that, then it's going to start complaining. But now that I actually have some cash, cargo station. Because they want tools and they want fuel. Ideally, we'd be able to use the same one for both. So I could put a cargo terminus station in a spot like right here. But that's not going to reach quite everything unless I bring it here. And then you're kind of locked into terminus station, but if it's only going back and forth, I guess it's fine. It's easier that way. We only have to have a single track. Okay, so if this goes here, all the construction not possible. What do you mean it's not? Okay. They're just going to cry about this. Okay, so that, if I want it to be 75, I have to go out to here. Yes, actual profit. I can't believe it. I'm actually just dumbfounded that this works. Okay, so that's going to collide there. I guess that's fine. Okay, that's almost enough. Okay, so that's still full speed. That's fine, and then this can also eventually get connected over there, but for right now, this would be actually going to require signals here. Okay, so this will need to have another train, but this is connected enough to this. All right, so what do I have running this? It's a 260. Probably don't need to have 3 box cars, but I will anyway, just because I can. Let's borrow more money. Solve all of your problems with debt. Okay. Let's add a new station here. Let's go here to Birmingham. On the correct track, no less. Very good. We're going to call that Birmingham Tool Shuttle. And then this train can go in there. And it will not go until this train is not on that track, right? Oh, I guess it doesn't care about block occupancy this way. All right. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. All right, so there's no... oh, geez, here we go. Plastic again. There's no tools available, but there will be. Yes, we will be bulking up tool production. Easiest way to do that is to probably... Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Can I edit all of these at once? I can. Let's invest our additional millions I just borrowed. Oh, I can't borrow any more than 30 million. Ooh. Okay, so we're going to be waiting a while, but let's give them fast... Ooh, 442 Atlantic. How much is that? 2.6 apiece. 10-wheeler is... Okay, all right. So that is going to be here. That's going to be here. That's going to be here. That's going to be here. Technically, this can run on either end of the train, but... I like it when things make sense. I also just realized I'm going to get rid of these flat cars anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, now I have to have the faster flat cars go up to 50 miles an hour. Hold 12 apiece. So that is now 24. That is now 36. And now I'm out of money, because that's 7-something mil. Entrance signal from the entrance of the depot to prevent blockages. Okay, well, we will... at some point. So I need to get this to actually go, I need to wait for a little bit more profit, and then I need to deploy these with 2 each, but it's still 24 capacity, and they're almost twice as fast. So we'll wait for that money to go up, and then we'll click modify, and then we will be absolutely maxed out on debt, but the increase in speed-based capacity should help us out a lot. Just need another 200. Now it's another 450,000. We'll get there. We are making money. Okay, 5-3. Oh, down immediately again. Getting close. All right. Here we go. Fast trains. Look at that. Immediately picking up speed. But yes, let's, while we have the chance... Oh, never mind. Now I have negative money. But I will put this here so we don't have any accidents. Except now I have super negative money. Alright. Should that, you know, cause any problems in the future, then no it won't. And that will also help that. Okay. So, now this is waiting to leave here. Oh, that's on the other track. Okay. I was about to say, how is that possible? So we should see these numbers go up as soon as stuff gets dropped off. That now has to wait because this train is here, and this train hasn't left because it's waiting for a full load, which it now has. This one is not set to wait for a full load, so it will just immediately leave with only what's there. I guess that's fine for now because I have that set to go whatever. But we're making progress. I know these tracks are just hideous, but maybe it's time to think, based on a fuel refinery here, about putting a fuel line over to Birmingham. Which they could share a lead up to here, and then we could also have a passenger station share most of that track. But we'd have to have some sort of a track here. I guess we don't need to have the station be incredibly long. It's probably okay. Let's just, we can always reconfigure it later. Let's put a track here. And then I can put that there, but I'm not going to have room for a cargo platform because there's track in the way. We'd have to modify that. But I think this will count. It should be okay. If it's that bad, we can always do something about it later. But time to come out of here quickly. There, that works. Move this all the way over to... Oh, we don't have money, and we're going to have to wait. But so this is going to cost... Why is that a tunnel? We don't want a tunnel. We can have this thing just follow the natural contours of the terrain. Easily. Okay. Let's just get that gone. Let's see, Birmingham is all the way over there. But if we go around, instead of tunneling... Costs a lot less money. Do it in chunks. I am maxed on debt, you're correct. Platform to the left of the track. That is technically an option. Boy, that's ugly. But it works. Well, the tool production's increasing because now we have faster trains. We'll be alright. Oh, I should have threaded this through here. Going around that's going to be... maybe it's alright. So this is going... Wait a second. I was looking at the wrong station. No. I built that wrong. That's Birmingham. Yes, I know. Okay, well that's why. Oh, that's why. That's why you're viaducting. Less money. Hello. Having a better time now that the stuff is actually working, but trains can't really go this fast anyway. I guess that's all right. Construction not possible. What do you mean it's not possible? What's in the way here? Why? There we go. That was weird. Okay, so if this gets connected here, full speed signals. You can wait. You can wait. And then that lead is just only for that train. Can always double track it at some point in the future. But now we have an opportunity to have here. No, I had to click this again. Come on. I know it's like 10:30, but I can do better than that. Okay, that works. That is now Birmingham fuel. And it's only finished fuel. But I have to have a train to get on there, which means it has to be connected to a track, and this is connected to this track technically, but that's going to run afoul of other stuff, and the depot's also only $20,000. So, figured that would be, once I have cash, an easy thing to pop in. But yes, we will have to wait a considerable amount of time to have some cash to actually purchase anything. Okay. Oh, come on. It didn't even let... There we go. Alright. Connect. So now, at the very least, we have the ability to put a train here, even if we can't afford it. That's fine. This track layout is awful, but it works. It is good practice to save the... I have not saved this game once, and now I'm not going to. Well, we're almost done for tonight anyway. So, tool... Yeah, see, this has gone up. We've got some stored. This is no tool distribution trains in sight. Because this one is probably... Yeah, this one's on its way back. It'll wait for a full load. This one is on its way to deliver 18, so that's working well. Once we have a couple $1,000,000, we can add another train going over there. But we probably should be repaying as much of this as we can, because this is a lot of money every quarter to be spending on debt service. At least we're making cash now. I know there's a couple of you who've been here since the very start of this stream, almost 4 hours ago, so I appreciate you hanging out. Sticking with it when we had all the stuff we couldn't figure out. I know I finished my orange Powerade. Not my favorite flavor, but it's what we had. Okay, so that's still positive. Tickets are looking pretty good. Still would love that number to be a little bit higher, but the railroad is in the black. Total in the black now. Just need to keep repaying debt. Would love to be able to have that other train going, because now we're paying money on the tracks and the infrastructure, and that's unfortunate. But we're not losing money actively. It just looks really bad because of all the loan interest. Yeah, need a loan of 50 mil. Well, it maxes out at 30. And I've managed to pay it down to 29.5, which is an achievement. But look at this. We're positive almost 500,000 despite the loan interest and despite having to pay for tracks and infrastructure. Looking quite nice. Alright, so just repay that. Let's leave that alone here. So the amount of fuel that we're actually storing here isn't really that much. Oh, you know what? Since this is such a short trip, it probably doesn't need to have all these cars. We could probably sell 2 of these. What's the... yeah, okay. What's 93? I guess that's fine. Yeah, this can't even replenish that fast enough. Alright, if I... Wait a minute. That was the wrong... That was the wrong one. Because that goes to that. Or does it? Wait a second. Did I do a stupid here? Okay, no, because that goes both ways. Alright, that's fine. I'm not going to mess with it. Negotiate lower. This is already a very favorable interest rate. Like what, 4%? On $30 million? That is, that's a really low interest rate. My credit cards are many times higher than that. Alright, it is almost 10:30. The stream's been going just about 4 hours. We're probably going to have to call it here. But we are technically profitable. It is working. I am going to continue this. Don't know when. Tentatively, maybe this weekend. I'm going to ask again because, you know, we've been trying to do, like, different things. I do want to get back into Satisfactory, too, but... 1% interest? Well, no, it's 1% per quarter. Yeah. Per quarter is the 1%, which would be 4% annually. I think. Hopefully I know how to do math like that. But at any rate, appreciate you guys being here. gifted memberships, donos, all that. Very, very much appreciated. Never, ever necessary, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantastic rest. Yeah, go to bed. It's 3 a.m. Please get some sleep. Take care of yourself. But I'm glad you joined, and I'm glad you offered some helpful advice, and I'm glad we got some stuff going. That's part of the fun of doing all this. But yeah, I got to go do other stuff. I got to go upload tomorrow's video that I recorded yesterday because I wanted to do a stream tonight, and I'm glad we did. But yeah, take care, friends. Very, very much appreciated, and we will see you next time.